I raise dinosaurs in the apocalypse. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 351 The Frustrated, Three-Eyed Corpse. With a loud bang, a meteorite landed precisely at the designated location. The size of the meteorite was similar to what the three-eyed corpse had proposed. Not bad. The hook-nosed, three-eyed corpse pretended to be calm and praised Lin Kong, then walked towards the meteorite's landing point at an unhurried pace. Although it was not walking very fast, the three-eyed corpse's gaze that was staring straight at the deep pit of the meteorite had betrayed all its inner desires. After the three-eyed corpse absorbed all the red energy contained in the basketball-sized meteorite, it slowly closed its eyes, feeling the surging power in its body constantly surging. Its strength has risen again. However, there is still a certain gap from the level 7. At least dozens of basketball-sized meteorites are needed, or a medium-sized meteorite with a diameter of 20 meters. Now, the three-eyed corpse almost has no doubt about Lin Kong's superpowers. This guy can actually summon meteorites from outer space. Such a talent is definitely a super assistant for us zombies. With this guy's help, upgrading and evolving in the future will be as easy as eating and drinking. Thinking of this, three-eyed corpse opened his eyes and revealed a burning look. It looked at Lin Kong with admiration and invited him in an unquestionable tone. Follow me in the future. I guarantee you will have delicious food and spicy drinks. And I can give you all the women on this earth. Although three-eyed corpse was transformed from a male human, it is no longer a human now. Even if it has evolved and mutated, it has no interest in ordinary women. However, if it is a female mutant zombie, three-eyed corpse will have a special feeling in his heart. Therefore, three-eyed corpse does not need women at all. Even if all the women on the earth are given to Lin Kong, it doesn't matter. Three-eyed corpse believes that under such generous conditions, Lin Kong will certainly agree happily. Moreover, in terms of strength, three-eyed corpse is a level 6 zombie with extremely strong strength, while Lin Kong is just a weak new human at level 1. If Lin Kong can have the powerful three-eyed corpse as a backer, then in this end of the world where zombies are everywhere, Lin Kong will have no worries about his life. After analyzing it this way, three-eyed corpse felt that Lin Kong would definitely be very happy to be his follower. However, Lin Kong's next words made three-eyed corpse quite angry. Lin Kong stuck out his tongue and licked the scarlet blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Then, he raised his head and said to three-eyed corpse, with his nose, "You will follow me in the future, and I will guarantee that you will have countless meteorites. Moreover, I can give you all the female zombies on this earth." Lin Kong imitated three-eyed corpse's words and slightly changed a few words, which meant that he wanted three-eyed corpse to be his younger brother. At this moment, Lin Kong's head was still shrouded by the red overlord flame, and he was still in a reckless state that was fearless. Therefore, when he said this, he was not joking, or using an anger tactic or something. Lin Kong was serious. Although the three-eyed corpse was a powerful zombie of level 6, and although Lin Kong himself was only a weak level 1. However, Lin Kong, who was in the reckless state, still felt that he had absolute bargaining chips. Even if the three-eyed corpse was a mutant zombie of level 100, Lin Kong would not care. He would still let the three-eyed corpse follow him and recognize him as the boss. The three-eyed corpse listened to Lin Kong's arrogant words, and the anger in his heart was completely out of control. Previously, this weak human had been insulting him for having a problem with his brain. Now, he actually imitated his own words and let a dignified level 6 zombie follow him. A weak chicken. The spiritual energy in the three-eyed corpse surged out. The terrifying suppression force, like a wave, emanated from its body. The surrounding wind was strong. The three-eyed corpse left the ground with both feet and rushed to Lin Kong in an instant. It stretched out its strong right hand, with 5 fingers spread out, covering Lin Kong's skull. It only needs to exert a little force, and Lin Kong's head will explode immediately. Three-eyed corpse narrowed his eyes and threatened, "Human, you are looking for death." Feeling the terrifying palm on his head, Lin Kong's face was completely free of fear. He yawned, and then said slowly, "I bet you will not only not kill me, but also call for help later." The reason why Lin Kong did not immediately treat the hole in his stomach was because he knew that three-eyed corpse would definitely threaten him with his life. So, Lin Kong took the lead and directly caused his stomach to bleed. If three-eyed corpse did not succumb to Lin Kong's request, Lin Kong would commit suicide on the spot for him to see. The original text is available at LU number 9 at book/bar. Yes, Lin Kong's plan was to commit suicide. Simple and efficient. Three-eyed corpse certainly did not know what Lin Kong was thinking. It thought that anyone would be afraid of death, and even it itself was afraid of death. Therefore, it planned to scare Lin Kong with death, so that this ignorant guy would succumb to it. The three-eyed corpse exerted a little force with the 5 fingers of his right hand. Crack! Lin Kong's skull immediately made a sound of broken bones. At the same time, Lin Kong's 2 eye sockets immediately began to swell. Lin Kong's 2 nostrils were spurting out bright red blood. Lin Kong's 2 eardrums were also instantly ruptured due to the deformation of the skull. Lin Kong's vision was instantly covered by large patches of red and flickering black light. He could hardly see anything clearly. He could not hear the outside world clearly. In his brain, there was only severe pain, and severe pain. Under normal circumstances, a level 1 new human would faint directly due to the deformation of the skull. However, Lin Kong, who was so badly injured, not only struggled to maintain his consciousness, but also stammered, "You. Cough cough. Didn't you eat? Why? Why are you so weak?" Three-eyed corpse became even angrier. Its palms were trembling slightly. It wanted to crush Lin Kong's head directly, but reason told it that it couldn't kill this abominable human yet. At least, it had to wait until it reached level 7 before it could destroy the bridge after crossing the river and kill the donkey after it had done its job. Endure. I fucking endure. Isn't it enough for me to endure? Fuck. Three-eyed corpse stopped exerting force on his palm. It gritted its teeth and stared at the dying Lin Kong, warning him again. "I'll give you one last chance. If you agree to be my slave now, I'll let you live. Otherwise." Although Lin Kong's expression did not show any fear, Three-eyed corpse did not believe that this young guy would have such a strong will. It decided to try to threaten Lin Kong again. However, before the three-eyed corpse could finish his words, Lin Kong's body went limp. His hands seemed to have lost all their strength and drooped down. There was a hole in his stomach and his skull was severely deformed. So, it was obvious that Lin Kong was going to die. The three-eyed corpse had a very sharp sense, so it was naturally very clear about Lin Kong's physical condition. Bang! It threw Lin Kong to the ground fiercely. After struggling for 2 or 3 seconds, the three-eyed corpse squatted down again and began to treat Lin Kong. Fuck, you are so cruel. Frustrated, very frustrated. The three-eyed corpse had never felt so frustrated before. Chapter 352, Subdue the Three-Eyed Corpse. From the beginning to the end. During the entire negotiation process, Lin Kong did not show any attack behavior towards the three-eyed corpse, because he knew that the gap between his strength and the three-eyed corpse was too big. His attack could only tickle the three-eyed corpse, at most. The forest pteranodons hidden in the distance was also ordered by Lin Kong to not attack the three-eyed corpse, even if he was killed by the three-eyed corpse. Although the forest pteranodon was a level 4 mutant dinosaur, facing a level 6 mutant zombie, its attack could not hurt the three-eyed corpse at all. Lin Kong did not want the forest pteranodon to die in vain. The live fire hidden in Lin Kong's right eye was also firmly controlled by Lin Kong in the depths of his eye. As long as he had a breath left, the live fire would not allow him to heal himself. Once his ability to resurrect was exposed, the three-eyed corpse would definitely kill him many times, forcing him to submit. However, as long as the three-eyed corpse thought that he was a weak new human at level 1, it would not let Lin Kong die easily. Judging from the previous performance of the three-eyed corpse, Lin Kong felt that the three-eyed corpse would definitely not kill him for the meteorite. Lin Kong guessed right. The three-eyed corpse really began to treat Lin Kong with a frustrated look on his face. At the level of a level 6 zombie, even if the three-eyed corpse's superpowers were not healing, it would still heal its wounds. Even a weak level 1 new human, the three-eyed corpse, only took 2 or 3 seconds to restore Lin Kong's body to its original state. Lin Kong slowly opened his eyelids. He sat up and looked at his body. The hole in his stomach had disappeared, and there was not even a scar on the wound. His eyes could see things normally. His ears could also hear the wind around him and the whispers of people in the distance. He stood up, his whole body full of strength, which was completely different from his previous dying appearance. Lin Kong reached out and patted the shoulder of the three-eyed corpse. With a kind smile on his face, he said with satisfaction, "Well, Dao-san, you did a good job." Dao-san was originally the nickname of Triceratops, but Triceratops saved Lin Kong many times and made great contributions. He should give Triceratops a nice name. Therefore, the title of Dao-san was transferred to the three-eyed corpse. The three-eyed corpse was transformed from a human. It digested the memory of its original owner and naturally understood the meaning of Dao-san. It originally wanted to say "you are looking for death," but it understood that this weak human in front of it was not afraid of death at all. The three-eyed corpse had to remain silent and did not object to the title of Dao-san. "Anyway, as long as I get to level 7, I will eat this arrogant human immediately. So, let this guy have his way for the time being. As the saying goes, it is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge." The three-eyed corpse decided to pretend to surrender to Lin Kong, a guy who was not afraid of death. Once he was strong enough, he could take revenge. The three-eyed corpse thought that his forbearance tactics were quite clever. However, Lin Kong saw through all the thoughts of the three-eyed corpse at a glance. After all, in terms of IQ, zombies are zombies, and their brains are not very useful. Even if the three-eyed corpse was a level 6 high-level zombie, it could not be compared with Lin Kong, this old cunt. Then, Lin Kong smacked his lips a few times and found that there was still a strong smell of blood in his mouth. So, Lin Kong shouted to Old Man Qin from a distance, "Hey, Old Man Qin, get me a few bottles of mineral water. I want to wash my mouth." Old Man Qin, who was watching silently from a distance, immediately died when he heard Lin Kong's words. "Don't drag me with you if you go to die. I don't want to get close to that terrible three-eyed corpse." Old Qin immediately lowered his head and hid his body behind the ruins of the football field lounge. Old Qin was not aware of Lin Kong's plan, nor did he know the concerns of the three-eyed corpse. From the perspective of others like Old Qin, Lin Kong's behavior was seeking death, and the three-eyed corpse was playing with Lin Kong's life. Therefore, facing Lin Kong's request, Old Qin refused without thinking. Moreover, he was praying nervously in his heart that the three-eyed corpse would not notice his existence. Otherwise, if the three-eyed corpse suddenly ate him, it would be bad luck. Lin Kong didn't want to live, but Old Qin wanted to continue living. As a result, the more you fear something, the more it will happen. The original text is available at Liu number 9 /. All he heard was the three-eyed corpse coldly ordering, "Didn't you hear me? Get some bottles of mineral water." Old Qin trembled with fear. There was no other way. Since the three-eyed corpse had spoken, Old Man Qin could only use his hands and feet to crawl out of the ruins of the lounge, and then go to the nearby rooms to search for mineral water. While Old Man Qin was looking for mineral water, Lin Kong turned around and discussed with the three-eyed corpse. Since the three-eyed corpse had cured all his injuries, then the three-eyed corpse must be afraid of his own death. In this way, Lin Kong had enough chips. He stretched out 3 fingers. "Like this basketball-sized meteorite, I can provide you with 3 every day." The three-eyed corpse estimated that it would need at least a few thousand basketball-sized meteorites to be promoted to the level of 7. The previous chapter was written wrong. It should not be dozens, but thousands. Therefore, if it only gets 3 meteorites a day, it will take several years to reach level 7. It is impossible for the three-eyed corpse to wait for such a long time. It was quite unhappy, frowned, and said to Lin Kong with disdain, "Only 3, not enough to fill my teeth." Lin Kong nodded. "Well, I know 3 may be too few, but, as long as you help me kill people, I will give hundreds, or even thousands." Hearing the words hundreds and thousands, Three-Eyed Corpse immediately became excited. "Tell me, who do you want me to kill?" Three-Eyed Corpse thought that with its powerful strength of level 6, there were not many people who could be its opponent. So when it heard Lin Kong's request to kill, it thought it was a very simple matter. Lin Kong certainly did not let the level 6, Three-Eyed Corpse, directly kill the level 6 president. Even if the Three-Eyed Corpse's IQ is not as high as that of humans, it will definitely understand that level 6 new humans are not so easy to kill. Therefore, Lin Kong decided to lure it to kill some level 4 and level 5 new humans first. After a little thought, Lin Kong touched his chin and said, "Let's do this. For a level 4 new human, at least 100 meteorites. For a level 5 new human, I will give you at least 1,000 meteorites." The Three-Eyed Corpse found that as long as he killed a level 5 new human, he could get 1,000 basketball-sized meteorites, and he couldn't help but smile. In this way, he only needed to kill 4 or 5 level 5 new humans to get enough meteorites for the promotion to level 7. After some calculations, the Three-Eyed Corpse readily agreed to Lin Kong's conditions. Then, Lin Kong discussed some details with the Three-Eyed Corpse. In the end, when Old Man Keen came to Lin Kong with a large bag of mineral water, the Three-Eyed Corpse and Lin Kong finally reached a deal. From then on, the Three-Eyed Corpse followed Lin Kong. However, the Three-Eyed Corpse thought that after he reached level 7, he would eat Lin Kong immediately. Lin Kong was not a pushover either. He planned to let the Three-Eyed Corpse fight with the president to test his strength. In short, one man and one corpse, each with their own agenda. Chapter 353, The leader of the horse team comes on horseback, on the open space. Three-Eyed Corpse stretched out his hand and said to Lin Kong with a smile, "Hey, kid, I will follow you from now on." When saying this, a trace of almost undetectable murderous intent appeared in the depths of Three-Eyed Corpse's eyes. Although Lin Kong did not notice the murderous intent in the depths of Three-Eyed Corpse's eyes, he had already known what Three-Eyed Corpse was thinking. Lin Kong took a step forward, held Three-Eyed Corpse's palm, and replied with a hearty smile, "Little Sanzi, don't worry, I will definitely protect you. Meteorites and the like, as many as you want, I will summon as many as you want." Not far away, Old Man Kin, carrying a large bag of mineral water, just came to Lin Kong and Three-Eyed Corpse. Watching the scene of Lin Kong and Three-Eyed Corpse shaking hands in a friendly manner, and hearing Three-Eyed Corpse say, "I will follow you from now on," Old Man Kin was stunned in an instant. Bang! The large bag of mineral water in his hand fell to the ground unconsciously. Just now, the Three-Eyed Corpse was clearly looking like it was going to eat Lin Kong, but now, the Three-Eyed Corpse is willing to be Lin Kong's little brother. Lin Kong, a weak new human at level 1, actually said shamelessly that he would protect the Three-Eyed Corpse. This scene was as incredible as a sow climbing a tree. The development of things was really too weird. Old Man Keen couldn't understand it at all. He rubbed his eyes and suspected that his eyesight was blurry. When he opened his eyes, the scene in front of Old Man Keen had indeed not changed. Lin Kong was indeed alive and well, and was not eaten by the Three-Eyed Corpse. After Lin Kong and the Three-Eyed Corpse reached a deal, he turned around and saw Old Man Kin standing there stupidly. "Thank you," Lin Kong said, walked to Old Man Kin, bent down and picked up the mineral water that fell on the ground. Old Man Kin looked at Lin Kong, who was alive and could thank him, and immediately came back to his senses. He also quickly bent down to pick up all the mineral water on the ground, then quickly opened the bottle cap and handed the mineral water to Lin Kong. Lin Kong looked at the exaggerated performance of Old Man Keen and shook his head. "No, I can unscrew it myself." After that, Lin Kong opened the mineral water bottle and drank it. Because his stomach was pierced by the iron rod just now, and his skull was deformed by the Three-Eyed Corpse, he vomited a lot of blood from his mouth. Although the treatment can make the stomach and brain return to normal, the vomited blood cannot flow back into the blood vessels. Hoo-la-la. Lin Kong first rinsed his mouth with 2 or 3 bottles of mineral water to wash his dirty face, and then gulped to drink the water. The face and mouth were almost clean, but when he looked down, there were still a lot of blood stains on his clothes, and there was a hole in the stomach area of the shirt. I have to take a shower and change into new clothes. Do you have a place to take a shower here? Yes, I'll take you there. Ordinary zombies don't like to be clean, but the three-eyed zombie, as a level 6 advanced zombie, naturally has a special shower room. The onlookers in the distance were all new humans with sharp eyes and ears. When they saw the three-eyed zombie taking Lin Kong to take a shower, they all opened their mouths in shock. Could it be that this three-eyed zombie really became the follower of that level 1 new human? There is such a thing in this world. A dignified level 6 advanced zombie actually surrendered to a weak level 1 new human. Is this three-eyed zombie crazy? Why would it put down its self-esteem and be willing to become a follower of a weak chicken human? The other onlookers didn't know the reason, but Shenzhou in the crowd knew it. Her superpower is zombie communication, so she can naturally understand the inner desires of zombies. And she also knows that the interior of the meteorite from outer space contains a special red energy. This red energy can make zombies evolve and upgrade quickly. For zombies, meteorites are priceless treasures. Therefore, Shenzhou knew why the three-eyed corpse succumbed to Lin Kong. However, a huge sense of frustration arose from her heart. The three-eyed corpse was taking Lin Kong to the bathing place, and Shenzhou blocked the way with a gloomy face. The three-eyed corpse could already run in the air, and Lin Kong was also sitting on the 7 black balls, so Shenzhou could not block their way at all. 1 person and 1 corpse flew directly over Shenzhou's head. Brother Three-Eyed. Shenzhou looked at the three-eyed corpse, and no longer paid attention to her, and immediately shouted with resentment. However, the three-eyed corpse still ignored Shenzhou's shouting, and it led Lin Kong away without looking back. Lin Kong looked back at Shenzhou and showed a smug expression to the latter. Shenzhou saw Lin Kong's smug look and gritted her teeth in anger. She originally wanted to torture Lin Kong and let him die in the fight on the football field, but unexpectedly, this hateful guy unexpectedly became a new human and awakened the superpower to summon meteorites. Shenzhou felt that Lin Kong should have been dead, and the reason why he was still alive and favored by the three-eyed corpse was just Lin Kong's luck. If Lin Kong had not awakened the perverted skill of summoning meteorites, he would not have been able to escape from the heavily guarded football field. Alas, as a result, Lin Kong not only came out openly, but also had a level 6, three-eyed corpse, as a bodyguard. If I had known this earlier, I should have killed this hateful guy earlier. Looking at Lin Kong's gradually receding figure, Shenzhou felt very regretful in her heart, but she couldn't get angry, because now Lin Kong's importance has far exceeded Shenzhou's position in the heart of the three-eyed corpse. Lin Kong could make the three-eyed corpse temporarily put aside its pride and submit. Shenzhou could never do this. Thinking that she could no longer avenge her lover Zhao Guang, Shenzhou's fists clenched and made a clattering sound. She stood there and struggled for a moment. In the end, Shenzhou could only sigh and walk away dejectedly, like a deflated ball. While Lin Kong was taking a shower, a sensational news quickly spread throughout the Xiong City gathering place. The original text is available at Liu number 9 / The super powerful, three-eyed corpse actually said to the level 1 new human, "I will follow you from now on." Everyone was so surprised that they couldn't close their mouths, especially the new humans in the football field lounge. Lin Kong, the newcomer, subdued the big boss of the gathering place as soon as he arrived. This magical method really made everyone feel like they were in magic. The 400-pound fat man was so scared when he saw the three-eyed corpse and Lin Kong talking happily that he wet his pants again. Only a few hours had passed, and Lin Kong had suddenly turned from a poor weakling who allowed himself to be bullied to a noble phoenix with a powerful backer. This huge change made the 400-pound fat man feel very scared, because he had asked Lin Kong to take off his pants before. He was going to force Lin Kong. It was because of his behavior that Lin Kong kept using a water pipe to commit suicide. He had hurt Lin Kong so badly, he would definitely come to avenge him. When the 400-pound fat man thought of this, his little eyes were filled with fear. No, I must run away quickly. However, the 400-pound fat man was only a new human of level 2, and he was also a gladiator for the entertainment of high-level zombies. There were already many level 3 and 4 zombie guards around the lounge. Want to run? It's impossible. Boom. Looking at the high-level zombies with glowing eyes all around, the 400-pound fat man could only sit on the ground helplessly. He felt that he was doomed. Not only did the 400-pound fat man feel that he was going to die, but the rabbit-mouthed youth who whipped Lin Kong with a whip was also feeling uneasy. However, he was different from the 400-pound fat man who was a gladiator. The rabbit-mouthed youth was a level 3 new human, and he was not a gladiator without freedom. His job was to select suitable mutant beasts to fight with the gladiators. Generally speaking, mutant beasts cannot be too weak or too strong. If they are too strong, all the gladiators will die, which is not fun. If they are too weak, if none of the gladiators die, it will be even more boring. In short, the job of the rabbit-mouthed youth is still quite important. With the presence of the rabbit-mouthed youth, the performance in the football field became more bloody, more suspenseful and exciting. The zombie audience also enjoyed it more. Therefore, the rabbit-mouthed youth had a certain degree of freedom, and he would not be watched by many zombie guards. Moreover, he also figured out the various arrangements of the entire Xiong city gathering place, and knew where to escape from without being discovered by the zombie guards. The rabbit-mouthed youth also knew where there was food, and after escaping, he could hide and survive for a while. Therefore, after discovering that Lin Kong had been protected by the three-eyed corpse, the rabbit-mouthed youth felt unbelievable, but he immediately made the most sensible decision, to escape quickly. Thanks to his usual careful observation, the rabbit-mouthed youth sneaked carefully. In the end, the rabbit-mouthed youth still escaped from the Xiong city gathering place smoothly, and no high-level zombies found him, although a human discovered him during the escape process. But he decisively stabbed the human to death with a knife, and covered the human's mouth in time to prevent the latter from making a sound. Half an hour later, the rabbit-mouthed youth had already run wildly to a place 10 kilometers away from the gathering place. Looking back, the young man with the rabbit mouth looked at the gathering place that was left behind and could no longer be seen, and he was finally relieved. Now, not only did he escape Lin Kong's revenge, but he also escaped the control of the three-eyed corpse. To be honest, if he hadn't guessed that Lin Kong would take revenge on him, the young man with the rabbit mouth would not even dare to make up his mind to escape. Free. Hee, I'm finally free, the young man with the rabbit mouth shouted happily. Turning around, he continued to move forward with big strides. However, before he had walked for 2 or 3 minutes, the young man with the rabbit mouth met a group of people on horseback. A careful count showed a total of 20 people. He didn't know that this group of people on horseback were the horse team leader and 20 new human killers in the late stage of level 4. Their main task was to kill Lin Kong. Chapter 354 Night Cavalry. Each level of new humans is divided into early, middle and late stages from weak to strong. For example, the rabbit-mouthed youth has just become a level 3 new human, so he is called the early level 3 strength. For example, Team Leader Ma and his 20 killers are at the late level 4. Of course, some people call it the peak of level 4, late or peak. They are almost the same. In short, each level of new humans has 3 small stages. The rabbit-mouthed youth, who is at the early level 3, was originally walking with big strides. At this moment, it was already night. The white disk-like moon rose from the east, and the bright moonlight shone on the quiet earth. The world was occupied by zombies and mutant beasts, and there were no bright street lights on both sides of the white road. The rabbit-mouthed youth could only walk on the road with the help of the moonlight. As a new human at the early level 3, he was naturally quite sensitive. Hiss-tilda. A slight sound came from the bushes 30 meters away. It seemed to be a snake. The corner of the rabbit-mouthed youth's mouth slightly raised. Perhaps tonight's supper could be a barbecued snake meat. Cautious, he did not rush forward immediately, but looked around carefully. After finding that there were no other mutant beasts, the rabbit-mouthed youth sneaked over, He picked up a stone on the ground and threw it at the snake in the bushes. Pop! It hit the snake's head directly. The rabbit-mouthed youth had never practiced throwing skills before. The reason why he could throw so accurately was entirely the result of his body evolving to a level 3 new human. Swish! The rabbit-mouthed youth pushed aside the lush grass, bent down, stretched out his hand, and was about to pick up the green grass snake that was still swinging unconsciously even though it was dead. However, the moment he bent down and lowered his head, he saw a shadow on the ground next to him. Two shadows? I am clearly the only one here. How could there be two shadows? Could it be that the three-eyed corpse is chasing me? The rabbit-mouthed youth was scared. If it was really a level 6, three-eyed corpse chasing him, he would not even have a chance to escape. Therefore, the young man with the rabbit mouth could only mechanically turn his head with a look of panic. The person behind him was not the three-eyed hook-nosed, three-eyed corpse. However, when the young man with the rabbit mouth saw the scene behind him, he still couldn't help but exclaimed, "Wow, why? So many people?" Just now, judging from the shadow behind him, the young man with the rabbit mouth thought there was only one person. But when he turned around, he saw dozens of people and dozens of horses in the moonlight. The person standing closest to the young man with the rabbit mouth was a handsome young man in his 20s. The young man was wearing a black tie leather jacket and a transparent tactical eyepiece on his head. He held a bow and arrow in his left hand and had a squeezed black quiver on his back. The overall image was like a modern version of an archer. The black-clad archer stretched out his right hand and said with a smile, "Hello, my name is Mawudi." The rabbit-mouthed youth looked at Mawudi's right hand wearing a black glove, but did not immediately stretch out his hand to shake hands with him, because the rabbit-mouthed youth was a little confused at the moment. Not far behind Mawudi stood a horse with a dark coat. This dark war horse, about 1.89 meters tall, looked very mighty, tall, strong and powerful. The rabbit-mouthed youth carefully felt the breath of the black-haired war horse, and it seemed to be much stronger than his own strength, as if it was a level 4 mutant beast. A level 4 mutant black horse was not surprising. However, behind this black-haired war horse, there were 2 rows of mutant black horses. Feeling their breath, it seemed that they were all mutant beasts above level 4. On the backs of these 2 rows of mutant war horses, there were all archers dressed in black and wearing tactical goggles. Feeling the strength of these archers again, it seemed that they were all stronger than himself. After a quick count, the young man with the rabbit mouth was surprised to find that there were a total of 21 black-clad archers, including Mawuti. 21 people, 21 tall black war horses, and they were able to appear behind him silently. The original text is available at 6:9. No sound at all. He didn't notice their approach at all. Scary. This is really too scary. The young man with the rabbit mouth couldn't help swallowing his saliva. If they wanted to kill him from behind, he probably wouldn't be able to detect it at all. Mawudi looked at the shocked young man with the rabbit mouth, and he reminded him softly, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" The young man with the rabbit mouth finally reacted, and quickly stretched out his hand to hold Mawudi's palm, and quickly pulled out a kind smile, saying, "Hello, hello, Dot. Sorry, I was scared just now." The strength of this group of black-clad archers is so strong, and the young man with the rabbit mouth doesn't want to offend them. But in the end times, people's hearts are sinister. Although he dared not offend this group of black archers, he could not guarantee that this group of people would not come to deal with him. Therefore, the rabbit-mouthed youth could only try to show his most kind side to greet Mawuti. However, the rabbit-mouthed youth's smile was really ugly. Mawuti withdrew his hand and asked, "I just observed for a moment and found that you ran from the south. So, I guess you're a survivor of the gathering place in Ziyang City, right?" When asking this question, a fist-sized pigeon landed on Mawudi's shoulder. This is a white pigeon, which does not match Mawudi's Night Cavalry regiment very well. But there is no way. Who said that this pigeon is the pigeon of the president? Now that communication is inconvenient in the end times, the role of this pigeon is to find the cannon team leader who is responsible for staring at Lin Kong. Therefore, Mawudi can only keep this pigeon, and it cannot be steamed for the time being. The young man with the rabbit mouth withdrew his gaze from the white pigeon, When he heard Mawudi's question, he was stunned for a moment, and then hesitant in his heart. This group of black-clothed archers seemed to be heading for the gathering place in Xiong City. If I admitted my identity as a survivor of the gathering place, they would definitely ask me to lead the way. This won't do. I absolutely can't go back. I'll be dead if I go back. This group of black-clothed archers thought they were very strong, but the strength of level 4 was not enough in front of the level 6, three-eyed corpse. Therefore, after hesitating for a moment, the young man with the rabbit mouth shook his head and lied, "I'm not from the gathering place in Xiong City. I'm just a survivor hiding not far away." Mawudi put away his smile. The young man with the rabbit mouth's lying skills were really bad, and Mawudi saw through him at a glance. Swish! Mawudi directly drew out the Nepalese saber from his waist. The sharp blade of the saber looked snow-white under the moonlight. Mawudi's movements were extremely fast. Before the young man with the rabbit mouth could react, he felt a chill on his neck. The sharp Nepali army knife was already on his neck. Mawudi's face turned grim. "I asked you in a friendly way, but you lied to me. You made me lose face by doing this." Chapter 355, Horse Without Hoof. Ambitious. Autumn nights are always cold. After Mawudi said "I'm so embarrassed," the temperature in the air dropped a few degrees. The young man with the rabbit mouth felt a chill on his back, and his heart skipped a beat, secretly saying that it was not good. Sure enough, there are no good people in this apocalypse. The black-clad archer who started to smile actually exuded a murderous aura that was so frightening. The young man with the rabbit mouth felt the coolness of the metal texture from the Nepalese saber on his neck, and his face became pitiful. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have lied to you. I am indeed from the gathering place in Xiong City. I just ran out of there." He didn't dare to lie anymore. As soon as he looked at Mawudi's deep and calm eyes, the young man with the rabbit mouth felt that his whole body, including his soul, had been seen through by his opponent. "In other words, you admit that you just lied to me." Mawudi exerted a little force with his right hand, and the sharp blade of the Nepalese saber easily cut the skin on the neck of the young man with the rabbit mouth. A little scarlet blood flowed out. Feeling the pain, the rabbit mouth youth begged for mercy. I'm sorry, I was wrong, please let me go. I was just scared just now, so I lied accidentally. I won't dare to lie to you again. Whatever you want to know, I'll tell you everything. Whatever you want, as long as I have it, I'll give it to you. Please, let me live." The rabbit mouth youth trembled with his legs. He even wanted to kneel down and beg for mercy, but the Nepalese army knife was on his neck. He didn't dare to kneel down, afraid that Mawudi would think he was resisting or something like that. Of course, he also thought about turning around and running away, or taking out the dagger at his waist and fighting to the death. But when he saw the 2 rows of black iron cavalry behind Mawudi, the rabbit mouth youth could no longer think of resisting or running away. How could his 2 legs outrun 21 people, 21 horses, and 126 legs? Seeing the rabbit mouth youth begging for mercy with tears streaming down his face, Mawudi was unmoved. He carefully observed the neck of the rabbit mouth youth and soon found a protruding blood vessel. The sharp edge of the Nepalese army knife moved above the blood vessel. Mawudi asked the rabbit mouth youth, "Do you know the carotid artery?" Yes, the rabbit mouth youth nodded, and an ominous premonition rose in his heart. "My knife is already on your carotid artery. If I cut it, you will bleed to death soon. This consequence, you should understand." Hearing that Mawudi was going to cut his carotid artery, the rabbit mouth youth's eyes were straightened instantly, and he quickly begged for mercy with a sad face. No, brother, no, please don't be impulsive. I promise I won't lie to you. Please don't cut my aorta. The rabbit mouth youth knew very well that once his aorta was cut, the blood in his body would spurt out like a fountain. It wouldn't be long before he would die from excessive bleeding. However, he was a level 3 new human, and if he used his spiritual energy to treat it with all his strength, he might have a glimmer of hope. However, the young man with the rabbit mouth thought that Mawudi would not give him any chance to treat himself. Mawudi moved the Nepalese army knife away and patted the young man on the cheek. "Did your mother teach you to be honest?" "Yes, I did. How could the young man with the rabbit mouth dare to say no? When he found that the knife on his neck had left, he felt a little relieved, but the next words of Mawudi made the young man with the rabbit mouth tense up again. Since you just lied to me, you have to pay the price. As soon as he finished speaking, Mawudi took the Nepalese army knife and slashed at the neck of the young man with the rabbit mouth. A cold light flashed. The carotid artery was cut open. Blood spurted out. Hiss! The blood spurted out of the blood vessels, and there was even a slight sound. The young man with the rabbit mouth quickly covered his neck and knelt on the ground with his legs in despair. Blood flowed out from between his fingers. Bang! The whole body of the young man with the rabbit mouth fell to the ground powerlessly. After 3 seconds, it was quiet all around. The young man with the rabbit mouth found that he did not have any symptoms such as dizziness. Mawudi held the Nepali army knife and asked in confusion, "Why did you fall down?" There was not a drop of blood on the sharp edge of the Nepali army knife, because Mawudi only cut a very small cut on the carotid artery. The original text is on Liu number 9 at book/bar. Although blood spurted out of the cut, it would take at least 2 or 3 hours for the young man with the rabbit mouth to bleed to death. The young man with the rabbit mouth came to his senses and discovered this. He sat up from the ground and stopped the blood from spurting out by pressing the wound with just one finger. His face was slightly embarrassed. I thought you had cut my neck directly, just now." The young man with the rabbit mouth really thought that he was going to die, so he fell to the ground in despair. Who knew Mawudi's thunder was loud but the rain was small, and he only cut such a small wound. Mawudi squatted down. He waved the Nepalese army knife in front of the rabbit-mouthed youth, and then warned in a cold voice, "People are bound to lie. This small wound is just a warning. If you dare to lie to me again, I promise to cut off your neck with one knife." No, I will never lie to you." The rabbit-mouthed youth shook his head even more like a rattle. After all this tossing, even if he had 100 courage, the rabbit-mouthed youth would not dare to lie again. Even if Mawudi dragged him back to the Xiong City gathering place, he probably wouldn't dare to resist. After all, if he resisted Mawudi, he would die now. If he went back to the Xiong City gathering place, he could pretend that he had not escaped at all and continue to be a slave of the three-eyed corpse. Should he choose death, or choose to live without freedom? The rabbit-mouthed youth would choose the latter without hesitation. Then, Mawudi asked a lot of questions, such as what was the situation in the Xiong City gathering place? Is there really a level 6 mutant zombie? Is the zombie's ability really human control? The rabbit-mouthed youth told Mawudi everything he knew about the questions he asked. From Mawudi's questions, the rabbit-mouthed youth could find that this group of archer cavalry regiments seemed to be coming for the three-eyed zombie. Mawudi also asked about the composition of the zombies in the gathering place. The rabbit-mouthed youth was not very sure, and could only come up with a rough answer. 1 level 6 zombie, about 10 level 5 zombies, and about 100 level 4 zombies. There are probably thousands of level 3 zombies. Mawudi's strength is the late level 4, and the other 20 men are also late level 4, even if the warhorse under him is counted. They only have a total of 42 level 4 combat units. However, when Mawudi heard about the hundreds of level 4 zombies in the gathering place of Xiong City, as well as the more powerful level 5 and level 6 zombies, he did not seem afraid. On the contrary, his eyes were burning with fighting spirit. Well, this is challenging. Looking at Mawudi's eager look, the rabbit-mouthed young man couldn't help but have a strange thought. Does this guy want to capture the gathering place in Xiong City? Chapter 356, Silent Hoofs. Rabbit-mouthed youth admitted that Mawudi's archer cavalry was very strong, but facing the level 6, three-eyed zombie troops, it was like an egg hitting a stone. Overestimating one's own ability. There was an almost insurmountable gap between each level. For example, if the level 3 rabbit-mouthed youth and the level 4 Mawudi were to fight head-on, he would probably be killed instantly by Mawudi. So, by the same token, if the level 4 Mawudi brought his 20 archer cavalry to cause trouble, he would most likely be killed instantly. What's more, Mawudi's side did not have an advantage in terms of numbers. There were hundreds of level 5 advanced zombies in the tomato gathering place. Although the zombies' brains were indeed not as good as humans, their levels and numbers far exceeded Mawudi. Therefore, the rabbit-mouth youth felt that Mawudi could not win, and he was simply looking for death. After asking many questions, Mawudi really invited the rabbit-mouthed youth. "Do you want to come with us to rescue the survivors in the gathering place?" Faced with this invitation, the rabbit-mouthed youth really found it a little unbelievable. At first, Mawudi suddenly changed his face and put a Nepalese army knife on his neck. He thought Mawudi was a demon who killed people without blinking an eye. Then, Mawudi only made a small wound as a punishment. So the rabbit-mouthed youth thought Mawudi was a reasonable person. However, when Mawudi wanted to capture the gathering place in Xiong City, the rabbit-mouthed youth thought this guy was a lunatic who overestimated his own abilities. In the end, Mawudi actually invited him to rescue the survivors in the gathering place. The rabbit-mouthed youth was confused. This lunatic who overestimated his own abilities actually had a kind heart. Mawudi wanted to save people, but he didn't want to save them. However, Mawudi's temperament was unpredictable, and the rabbit-mouthed youth was afraid of angering the other party, so he asked tentatively, "Can I ... can I not go?" Of course, when he said this, Mawudi's face was expressionless. The rabbit-mouthed youth immediately changed his words, "I will go, I will go, I must go. I can't abandon my fellow human beings who are struggling. I have to go back to save them." He felt that although Mawudi said on the surface that he could not go, if he didn't go, Mawudi would definitely kill him. There was no way. He could only pretend to be kind, upright and brave. Seeing that the rabbit-mouthed youth changed his words, Mawudi smiled, patted the latter on the shoulder and praised, "Well, the first time I saw you, I knew that you were a good person who was willing to sacrifice." After that, Mawudi jumped on the horse's back. The corner of the rabbit-mouthed youth's mouth twitched, and he helplessly complained in his heart, "Good people are ass. I was forced by you." Mawudi called out from the tall black horse, "Come on, get on the horse." "Ah? Oh." The rabbit-mouthed young man hesitated for a while, but finally jumped on the horse's back. He sat in the front, and Mawudi sat in the back with his arms around his waist. Well, two grown men riding on the same horse, this is really an embarrassing scene. The rabbit-mouthed young man turned his head and looked at the black-clad archer on another horse on the side. It was a female archer with a pretty face, a graceful figure, a white neck, and slender fingers. "It would be great if I could ride on the same horse with this beauty." The rabbit-mouthed young man couldn't help but think longingly. Mawudi pinched the horse's belly and called softly, "Go." The black war horse galloped towards the gathering place of Xiong City. The rest of the archers and cavalry also shouted "Go" in a low voice, and the black horses under their seats immediately turned into a breeze and galloped away. The reason why these black war horses are compared to breeze instead of whistling wind is because the sound is very small. When these tall black war horses run, the sound of their hooves stepping on the ground is surprisingly small. It's as light as a mosquito next to your ear. If you don't get close, you can hardly hear the sound of the black war horse's hooves. With this curious mood, the rabbit-mouthed young man looked down. He found that the hooves of this black war horse seemed to be wrapped with a layer of black solid object. This solid object is like jelly. When the horse's hoof touches the ground, this black jelly will be deformed due to the force of stepping. When the horse's hoof steps on the solid ground, it should make a violent trampling sound. However, as this black jelly deforms, the trampling sound disappears without a trace. There is no sound except the slight sound of the wind. The rabbit-mouthed young man touches the neck of the black war horse, circulates his spiritual energy to feel the changes inside its body. Mawudi discovered the behavior of the rabbit-mouthed youth, but he did not stop him. The original text is available at LU number 9 at book/bar. After a careful experience, the rabbit-mouthed youth finally figured out the source of the black jelly, which was the superpower of the black war horse, Silent Hoof. Just as the word silent in the name of this superpower describes, the footsteps of the black war horse are silent. As the saying goes, quantum mechanics is the key to success. In this way, All the strange things in the Doomsday can be reasonably explained by superpowers, as expected of a level 4 mutant beast. The rabbit-mouth youth sat on the back of this black warhorse, as if sitting on a stable high-speed train, and he must not feel bumpy. Very stable. Although the ride was very stable, the rabbit-mouth youth was not at all stable in his heart. He had to find a suitable time to escape. He didn't want to lose his life in vain because of Mawudi, a madman who overestimated his own abilities. At this time, the beautiful archer on the side came closer on a black horse. She had short black hair that fell to her chin. Let's call her a short-haired beauty for now. The short-haired beauty couldn't help but whisper to Mawudi, "Team leader, aren't we going to assassinate the target?" These 20 archer cavalrymen were not only the subordinates of team leader Mawudi, but also accepted the order of the president to assassinate Lin Kong. Therefore, when the short-haired beauty learned that Mawudi wanted to rescue the survivors in the Xiong City gathering place, she couldn't help but persuade him. The humans who were raised by zombies in the gathering place were pitiful, but the president's mission was also very important. It was said that the target person this time would threaten the president's life after growing up. Such a dangerous person must be eradicated as soon as possible to ensure the president's life safety to the greatest extent. However, instead of killing the target person, they ran to a completely unrelated Xiong City gathering place to rescue people. The short-haired beauty was quite puzzled. In this apocalypse, there are so many passers-by suffering. After saving one, we have to save another. If we keep rescuing them, we can forget about carrying out the assassination mission. Mawudi looked at the worried face of the short-haired beauty, and he naturally understood what the latter was thinking. However, he raised his handsome sword-shaped eyebrows and said nonchalantly, "I want to kill the target. I also want to save the passers-by." Chapter 357, President, come in person. Faced with Mawudi's willful behavior, the short-haired beauty could only roll her eyes, sighed, and stop trying to persuade him. She understood that her team leader was a man of his word. Since he had decided to attack the gathering place in Xiong City, he would not change his mind easily. Although the assassination mission of the president was very important, Mawudi had his own principles. He could kill anyone for the president, including children and the elderly. However, if he met a survivor who could be rescued, he would definitely help without hesitation. According to the information provided by the president before departure, the target person, Lin Kong, was a pure person who could not practice or evolve. He was a weakling with no spiritual energy or superpowers. The reason why the target person was so powerful was because he was lucky enough to have a nest of strange dinosaur eggs. With the help of several level 3 dinosaurs, the target person was able to kill people above his level and kill the level 4 mutant zombies. In short, Mawudi estimated the difference in strength between himself and the target person. He felt that even if Lin Kong and his dinosaurs were allowed to jump around for another 7 or 8 days, Lin Kong would not be able to escape from his palm. So he was not in a hurry. He could first rescue the survivors in the Xiong City gathering place, and then get rid of Lin Kong and his dinosaurs. Of course, it was impossible for Mawudi to be chased when dealing with Lin Kong and his companions. Only unrelated passers-by would Mawudi start to help. In the hostile camp, even if the opponent was just a child without threat, Mawudi would not let it go easily. It is worth mentioning that Mawudi knew about the evil deeds of zombies raising humans in the Xiong City gathering place a long time ago. He did not make a decision on a whim after asking the rabbit-mouth youth. Therefore, facing the level 6, three-eyed corpse, Mawudi was well prepared. On the main road, in the cool autumn breeze, under the bright moonlight, 22 people, 21 horses, were quietly galloping towards the gathering place in Xiong City. The horse team leader was riding a horse, while the pink-clothed cannon man, who was the cannon team leader, was driving a motorcycle. The horse without hooves moved like a ghost, making very little sound, while the pink-clothed cannon man's motorcycle rumbled, and in the silent night, it was particularly loud and eye-catching. No, it should be to attract the attention of the beasts. In Xiong City, the number of mutant beasts far exceeds the number of zombies and humans. This is a paradise for beasts. Night is a good time for mutant beasts to come out and hunt. After discovering the motorcycle of the pink-clothed cannon man and his 3 companions, many mutant beasts couldn't help but chase after them. They wanted to catch up with them, tear them apart, and eat them. However, the pink-clothed cannon man had the help of future water, and these low-level mutant beasts couldn't catch up with the pink-clothed cannon man's motorcycle at all. Water of the future can predict potential crises. Naturally, it can choose the safest path for the 3 pink-coated gunmen. On this path, even though the motorcycles of the 3 pink-coated gunmen rumble, they will not suddenly be in a dangerous situation. On this quiet night, the pink-coated gunmen stepped on the accelerator vigorously and hurried on the road quickly, just to prevent Ma Wuti from going to the gathering place in Xiong City, just to prevent Ma Wuti from giving his head to Lin Kong, because this is the prediction of water of the future. It predicts that Ma Wuti will eventually die in Lin Kong's hands. Why can the level 3 pink-coated gunman predict the fate of the level 4 Ma Wuti? This is because the pink-coated gunman has upgraded. Previously, after the pink-coated gunman predicted the terrifying danger of the 3-eyed corpse, he quickly fled with his 2 lovers. After escaping, the pink-coated gunman reported his situation to the president in frustration. Because he and Lin Kong were too far apart, the pink-coated cannon man could no longer use the water mirror formed by the water of the future to secretly observe Lin Kong. And because of the existence of the 3-eyed corpse, the pink-coated cannon man could not get too close to Lin Kong. For various reasons, the pink-coated cannon man had to apply to the president to give up this mission. But unexpectedly, the president actually got a method to quickly advance from level 3 to level 4. The pink-coated cannon man knew that the president had already researched a method for ordinary people to become new humans, from level 1 to level 2, and from level 2 to level 3. He did not expect that the president at this moment had successfully researched a method to advance to level 4. This is really great news. Moreover, the original text is available at LU number 9 at book/bar. The even better news is that this method of advancing to level 4 is simpler and has lower requirements. It is much simpler than advancing from level 2 to level 3. Under the guidance of the president, the pink-coated cannon man chose a slowly flowing stream. Then he sat cross-legged in the stream. The plump woman and the coquettish woman also received the approval of the president and learned the method of promotion to level 4 together. Both of them were very happy and repeatedly sighed at the president's generosity. 1 man and 2 women, in the stream, practiced the special method provided by the president. Just 2 hours later, accompanied by the boiling water in the stream, the 3 pink-coated cannon men were promoted from level 3 new humans to level 4. After being promoted to level 4 new humans, the pink-coated cannon men's future water ability is naturally stronger, and the range of remote monitoring is naturally wider. Therefore, the pink-coated cannon men continued to take back the important task of monitoring Lin Kong. They carefully monitored Lin Kong remotely. Although the 3-eyed corpse is powerful, according to the prediction of future water, the 3 of them will not reveal their whereabouts. Therefore, they all monitored him with peace of mind. They also saw Lin Kong being whipped by the rabbit-mouthed youth in the football field lounge. They also witnessed Lin Kong hitting the water pipe, asking Old Man Keen to treat him, and quickly upgrading to level 1. They have always been curious about what Lin Kong's superpower is. Finally, when Lin Kong confronted the 3-eyed corpse, the 3 pink-clothed gunmen were shocked. They knew that Lin Kong's superpower must be very abnormal, but they didn't expect it to be so abnormal. That's a meteorite. A meteorite from outer space. A meteorite from outer space tens of thousands of kilometers away from the surface of the Earth. Such a thing, Lin Kong, a mere level 1 new human, can actually summon it. The pink-clothed gunmen were so envious of this abnormal and powerful ability that their saliva was almost flowing. Then, something happened that made them even more stunned. Lin Kong was not afraid of death and successfully persuaded the level 6, 3-eyed corpse. A level 6 super zombie was actually willing to be a younger brother to a level 1 new human. This amazing scene directly made the pink-clothed gunmen doubt their lives. What's wrong with this world? Are we dreaming? Such an incredible thing actually happened. The pink-coated man not only recorded the entire negotiation between Lin Kong and the three-eyed corpse with a camera, but also immediately reported it to the president. After the president found out that Lin Kong's superpower was summoning meteorites, he could no longer stay calm in the laboratory. With a jump, he stood up from his seat. The president's face became extremely serious. It seems that I have to do it myself. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 358, A Horse Without Hooves Will Be Killed. Theoretically, as a pure person, Lin Kong could not become a new human. However, by chance, Lin Kong not only became a new human with the help of Old Man Qin, but also awakened a super abnormal ability. The president learned all this from the pink-clothed cannon man. He originally sent team leader Ma and 20 elite killers. He thought that letting Ma Wuti deal with Lin Kong would be foolproof, but he never expected that Lin Kong's growth rate would be so fast. Not even a day had passed, and Lin Kong, a weak chicken new human at level 1, was actually protected by a level 6 zombie. With such an adventure, the president even thought that Lin Kong was a chosen person. In short, Lin Kong could not be allowed to continue to develop. Now, Lin Kong did not know that the president had already set his sights on him. Therefore, for the forces on the president's side, they had an advantage in intelligence. If the president personally took action, it would surely be easy to capture him. The pink-clothed cannon man seemed a little excited. Faced with Lin Kong, who was growing at such an amazing speed and had endless tricks, the pink-coated cannon man was really a little panicked. At first, the pink-coated cannon man thought that the team leader Ma in the late stage of level 4 was very awesome, and 20 killers in the late stage of level 4 were simply amazing. However, when he saw that the level 6, three-eyed corpse, was completely defeated by Lin Kong, the pink-coated cannon man suddenly became very worried. He felt that team leader Ma and his men went to cause trouble for Lin Kong just to give him heads. The pink-coated cannon man also used Water of the Future to predict the fate of team leader Ma. Sure enough, the prediction given by Water of the Future was very miserable. The pink-coated cannon man also informed the chairman of the result of team leader Ma, and the chairman immediately ordered him to stop team leader Ma and prevent him from attacking Lin Kong. Therefore, on this night, the pink-coated gunman and his lover hurriedly rode on a rumbling motorcycle to the approximate location of team leader Ma. However, the prediction of future water is not omnipotent. The pink-coated gunman tried many times, but he could not predict the exact location of team leader Ma. The reason is that his level is too low. If he is level 5 or level 6, then future water can accurately predict the location of team leader Ma in half an hour. But the pink-coated gunman, who has just been promoted to level 4, can only predict the location of team leader Ma 3 hours later. 3 hours is 3 hours. There is nothing we can do about it. Soon, the pink-coated gunman trio arrived at the gate of a hospital. According to the prediction of future water, team leader Ma will arrive at the gate of this hospital in 3 hours. Looking at the sign next to it, the pink-coated gunman learned that the name of this hospital is Kuoning Hospital. After arriving at Kuoning Hospital, he immediately checked the surrounding situation. After finding out that there was no danger, the pink-clad cannon man breathed a sigh of relief. He thought to himself, it's night now, and team leader Ma can't possibly meet Lin Kong. Besides, team leader Ma doesn't know Lin Kong's location without my help, so it shouldn't be possible for him to contact Lin Kong now. However, the future is always wonderful. Although team leader Ma doesn't know Lin Kong's location, Lin Kong happens to be there at the gathering place in Xiong City where he went. If the pink-clad cannon man used Water of the Future to predict, he would be surprised to find that team leader Ma would meet Lin Kong's eyes in half an hour. At the entrance of Kuoning Hospital, the pink-clad cannon man originally wanted to wait here. But at this time, the coquettish woman rubbed her hands and begged sweetly, "Husband, it's very cold outside. Why don't we go into the house and wait first?" The coquettish woman and the plump woman didn't wear thick clothes. Although they were new humans at level 4, they were very strong and the cold outside could not hurt them. However, they could still feel the cold. Just like the new humans have strong recovery ability, but they still feel pain when they are injured. The new humans will try their best to avoid injuries. The pink-coated gunman hesitated. The original text is available at 6 number 9 / Anyway, the horse team leader will not come to this hospital until 3 hours later. Thinking of this, the pink-coated gunman agreed to the proposal of the coquettish woman. Let's go and to avoid the cold, and we will come out and wait in 2 hours. The coquettish woman happily took the pink-coated gunman's arm. Thank you, husband. Husband, you are so kind. As she said that, the coquettish woman also kissed the pink-coated gunman. The plump woman next to her didn't say anything and followed him to the lobby of the hospital. But, just when the pink-coated gunman trio turned around, 21 black horses were galloping silently through the gate of the hospital. Like ghosts, almost no sound was made. This group of ghost cavalry, of course, is horse team leader Mawudi and his 20 archer cavalry, well, plus a rabbit-mouth youth who wanted to escape. When Mawudi's night cavalry regiment ran past the hospital entrance, the plump woman seemed to notice something, and she looked back. However, the plump woman could only see 5 or 6 camphor tree leaves slowly falling in the air. Those were the camphor tree leaves that rolled up when the night cavalry regiment ran past at high speed. The plump woman frowned. Not realizing the real reason, she turned her head and quickened her pace to catch up with the pink-clad cannon man in front. Yes, the pink-clad cannon man just missed it. If they stood at the door of Kuoning Hospital and continued to wait, then they would definitely see Mawudi's night cavalry regiment. However, the coquettish woman felt cold, so they just turned around and entered the hospital. Just like that, they missed the best chance to stop Mawudi. So, why didn't future water predict this? The reason is very real. That is, the pink-clad cannon man is too weak. The predictive ability of water of the future is actually very abnormal, and it is dozens of times stronger than Lin Kong's summon meteorite. However, although the ability is strong, the owner's level is too low, and it cannot exert its full strength. The president knew that the pink-clothed cannon man could not fully exert the ability of water of the future, so he did not reuse him and only made him the cannon team leader. Therefore, even Zhu Linyun, a vase-like character, is a big level higher than the position of the pink-clothed cannon man. At this moment, the pink-clothed cannon man missed the best opportunity to stop Mawudi, so, in half an hour, Mawudi will face Lin Kong. Chapter 359 Lin Kong prepares to upgrade to level 2. When Mawudi and his night cavalry regiment headed straight for the gathering place in Xiong City under the silver-white moonlight, Lin Kong was letting Old Man Qin upgrade. Previously, Lin Kong relied on the hidden ability of Old Man Qin's body surface to quickly increase 6 strands of spiritual energy and become a first-level new human. It was because of Old Man Qin's help that Lin Kong was able to quickly awaken his superpowers. The method of upgrading from level 2 to level 3 is very difficult for most ordinary new humans. However, for Lin Kong, it is a simple matter. He can choose to fly out of the scope of Xiong City, find a city with many zombies, and then use the 7 black frozen of the 7 black balls to harvest second-level spirit cores in large quantities. This method will take at least 1 night. Three-eyed corpse knew Lin Kong's idea, so his eyes lit up and suggested, in fact, I have collected a lot of level 2 spirit cores, but halfway through, three-eyed corpse stopped talking again. Lin Kong looked at the three-eyed corpse and felt amused. As expected of a level 6 zombie, it has learned to keep people in suspense. Lin Kong naturally guessed the second half of the three-eyed corpse's words, and he must want to exchange the meteorite for its spirit core. How about this? 20 basketball-sized meteorites for 2,000 level 2 spirit cores. Small business, no bargaining. Lin Kong proposed a price that made the three-eyed corpse very excited. It is worth mentioning that the volume of the meteorite Lin Kong proposed here is the volume of the part of the meteorite that was burned after falling from space. In other words, if the three-eyed corpse wants to get a basketball-sized meteorite. Lin Kong needs to pick a meteorite with a diameter of about half a meter from space. According to Lin Kong's exhausted mental strength at the moment, he can only summon a small meteorite with a diameter of 10 meters at most. Then how many balls with a diameter of half a meter are equivalent to a sphere with a diameter of 10 meters? Although the diameters of the two are only 20 times different, but in terms of volume, the former will be thousands of times the latter. In other words, Lin Kong can summon thousands of meteorites with a diameter of half a meter. Therefore, 20 meteorites are just a drop in the bucket for Lin Kong. The reason why Three-Eyed Corpse has a large number of level 2 spiritual cores is because it has snatched them from various new humans. For new humans, the spirit cores in the zombies' heads can help them quickly restore their spiritual energy, and they can also maintain the energy in their bodies by eating spirit cores when food is scarce. However, for Three-Eyed Corpse, those level 2 spiritual cores are almost useless, because the spiritual energy of zombies is almost endless. Moreover, zombies will not kill each other, even if they eat the spirit cores of the same kind. They cannot digest them. In essence, zombies are relatively simple creatures. They will only launch brutal attacks on humans and beasts. They will neither cut down trees to make paper nor fight each other for land resources. They will not enroll children in various interest classes in order to win at the starting line. And the most important point is that zombies will never eat zombies, but, sometimes, people will eat people. Let's not talk about these messy things. Let's turn our attention back to the thinking of Three-Eyed Corpse. It wanted to fight for more meteorites, so it bargained with Lin Kong. But Lin Kong just gave a price and didn't accept any bargaining at all. There was no way. Three-Eyed Corpse could only agree to Lin Kong's deal. For Three-Eyed Corpse, these 2,000 level 2 spirit cores were just insignificant things. Similarly, for Lin Kong, the 20 meteorites from outer space were also a simple matter. In short, after this deal, both of them did not lose. Although it was easy to summon 20 meteorites, Lin Kong still pretended to be very difficult. After the meteorites fell, Three-Eyed Corpse handed over 2,000 level 2 spirit cores to Lin Kong. Lin Kong turned around and handed them to Old Man Qin. Old Man Qin took a large bag of level 2 spirit cores with gratitude, and he didn't know what to say. Seeing this, Lin Kong stepped forward and patted Old Man Qin on the shoulder, reminding him, "Hurry up and advance to level 3. If you advance to level 3, I can advance to level 2 as well." "Okay, I'll start eating now." Soon, Old Man Qin ate 2,000 level 2 spirit cores. Under the catalysis of spiritual energy, these spirit cores quickly turned into pure energy. This huge amount of energy caused Old Man Qin's body to begin to transform. The total amount of spiritual energy in his Danshin began to increase. The original text is available at Liu number 9/21 strands, 22 strands, 23 strands. Gradually, Old Man Qin advanced from the early stage of level 2 to the middle stage of level 2. As the level 2 spirit cores were eaten and digested, it didn't take long for Old Man Qin to break through from the middle stage of level 2 to the late stage of level 2, and finally, all the way was smooth, reaching level 3. Buzz tilde. When Old Man Qin was promoted to level 3, a special and powerful wave emanated from his body. This powerful fluctuation is the unique suppression force of a level 3 strongman. Lin Kong is only at level 1, and he cannot resist the suppression force. However, Lin Kong covered his body with Overlord Flame in advance, so he was not fixed by this powerful suppression force. Old Man Qin opened his eyes. His face was full of joy. He clenched his fists, stretched his legs, and felt the surging power between his hands and feet. I have to say, the feeling of a level 3 new human is really great. Old Man Qin was not happy for long before he was interrupted by Lin Kong's words, "You have upgraded, now it's my turn." Lin Kong pulled out the machete from his waist. He planned to continue the self-injury recovery method just now to stimulate the hidden attributes of Old Man Qin's body surface, so that he could quickly obtain spiritual energy. After experiencing many tragic battles, Lin Kong's will has become extremely firm. Even if he attacked himself, He did not hesitate at all. Old Man Qin looked at Lin Kong, who started to self-injure again, and he was also full of admiration. He has lived for more than 70 years, but this is the first time he has met a super ruthless person like Lin Kong. When Lin Kong was covered with wounds, Old Man Qin did not dare to hesitate. He used his superpower, Body Surface, while using spiritual energy to heal Lin Kong's wounds. Luck was on Lin Kong's side again. After the first self-injury recovery, the spiritual energy in Lin Kong's body increased by 2 strands. Keep going, try to reach level 2 in one night. Lin Kong raised the sharp machete to his body again. Looking at Lin Kong's self-injury behavior, Old Man Qin on the side couldn't bear to look directly. In fact, Lin Kong was also very afraid of pain. However, in order to save his mother Liu Hong from the evil president as soon as possible, Lin Kong had to grit his teeth and persist. Fortunately, his hard work was not in vain. Luck was on his side again. After the second self-injury recovery, the spiritual energy in his body increased by 2 strands. When Lin Kong started to mutilate himself for the 3rd time, Ma Wuti had already arrived outside the wall of the Xiong City gathering place with his night cavalry regiment. Chapter 360, Sneaking into the gathering place. A white dove was hovering above Ma Wuti's head. This mutated dove can find designated friendly characters. For example, this time, Ma Wuti was going to use this dove to find the pink-coated cannon man. Originally, when passing by the Quanning Hospital, this white finding pigeon had already sensed the location of the pink-coated cannon man. However, the black horse under Ma Wuti's crotch was too fast. Before the white finding pigeon could remind Ma Wuti had already run hundreds of meters away. When the finding pigeon caught up with Ma Wuti had already arrived outside the wall of the Xiong City gathering place. The finding pigeon told him that he had missed the cannon team leader. Ma Wuti looked back, thought for a moment, and finally decided not to reunite with the cannon team leader first. At this moment, he didn't know that the pink-coated cannon man had been promoted to level 4. He thought that the pink-coated cannon man was just a level 3 new human, and felt that the pink-coated cannon man was not very useful. So Ma Wuti finally decided to take 20 archers and cavalrymen to capture the Xiong City gathering place first. Let's put aside the cannon team leader in the assassination of Lin Kong. After making the decision, Ma Wuti reached out and stuffed the looking for people pigeon that had been fluttering into the bag. The pigeon was all white, which was too eye-catching, and it kept urging Ma Wuti to meet up with the cannon team leader. This made Ma Wuti feel very annoyed. After the looking for people pigeon was stuffed into the bag, the world suddenly became much quieter. According to the information provided by the rabbit-mouth youth, the area of the Xiong City gathering place is quite large. From the main gate to the back door of the gathering place, the approximate straight line distance is 2 or 3 kilometers. Ma Wuti looked at the Xiong City gathering place crawling on the ground, and after a little thought, he quickly made a decision. Turning his head, he commanded the archer cavalry behind him. Team 1, use ice arrows, sneak in from the left. Team 2, use rockets, sneak in from the right. Team 3, use golden arrows, cut off their retreat. Team 4, use trumpets, follow me to charge in from the front. The rabbit-mouthed young man who was sitting with Ma Wuti was secretly shocked after hearing this battle order. This guy who overestimated his own capabilities actually tried to use encirclement tactics. They only had 21 people, but they wanted to surround the gathering place of tens of thousands of zombies! Although the ice arrows, rocket arrows and golden arrows mentioned by Ma Wuti sounded quite powerful, however, their number was really too small. The rabbit-mouthed young man really couldn't figure out where the confidence in Ma Wuti's eyes came from. Suddenly, the rabbit-mouthed young man noticed the last part of Ma Wuti's words. Team 4, use trumpets. Trumpets? What the hell? It can't be a special weapon. It shouldn't be an ordinary trumpet. The young man with the rabbit mouth turned around and found that the 20 archer cavalrymen behind him quickly divided into 4 teams. 3 teams had already galloped away with a silent hoof. The remaining 4th team took out a red loudspeaker from the bag on the belly of the black horse. This loudspeaker was made of plastic. It was exactly the same as the ordinary loudspeaker used to repeatedly play 3 yuan for 1 catty of watermelon, 10 yuan for 3 caddies in the roadside fruit stall. 3 black question marks popped up on the forehead of the young man with the rabbit mouth. Could it be that the loudspeakers in their hands were not special weapons, but just loudspeakers used to amplify the sound? The young man with the rabbit mouth did not dare to ask more questions. He shook his head and threw away all the strange questions in his mind. Now, for him, there is only one most important thing. That is to take the opportunity to escape. Mawudi's behavior is definitely courting death. If he does not seize the opportunity to escape, he will die. The young man with the rabbit mouth rolled his eyes and began to think about a plan to escape. He was very familiar with this gathering place in Xiong City, and it was not impossible for him to escape from Mawudi's hands. The young man with the rabbit mouth was thinking about escaping, while Mawudi was thinking about how to find the three-eyed zombies, how to attract all of the potential high-level zombies, and then catch them all in one fell swoop. Although the number and level of three-eyed zombies far exceeded Mawudi's night cavalry regiment, but fortunately, these zombies are relatively simple. When humans build gathering places, they usually install various cameras in every corner of the gathering place and set various insidious and deadly traps. The original text is in Liu number 9 at book/bar, but simple zombies are different. At most, they send some zombie guards to patrol, and they don't install cameras, dig pits, bury mines, or set traps. Even if three-eyed zombies have the ability to control humans, they don't have the idea of setting traps. From its point of view, why set traps? Just go head on and it's done. Our zombies are very tough and are not afraid of anyone. It is precisely because there are no traps to block them and no cameras to monitor them. Mawudi's Team 1, Team 2 and Team 3 all successfully sneaked into the Xiong City gathering place from the left, right and back. The ears of these team members all carry headphones and headsets for short-distance communication. It is worth mentioning that long-distance communication equipment requires the use of satellites in the sky, so they don't have it. This kind of short-distance communication equipment does not require the help of satellites, but only relies on the transmission of radio waves. The technology required for this kind of communication equipment is not very advanced, and even ordinary college students can make it. Therefore, it is not strange that Mawudi's men can have this kind of short-distance communication equipment. In this way, the 4 team members of Mawudi can communicate with each other in real time. Real-time communication is an extremely important means for battles with a large number of people. Report to Brother Zhaoma. This is Team 1. We have entered the inner wall and are hiding behind the house temporarily. We can launch a surprise attack at any time. The voice of the captain of Team 1 sounded in the communication channel of the crowd. This is a simple encrypted channel. If ordinary people use a radio to search, they cannot search it. Only more professional people can eavesdrop on the voice communication between Mawudi's team. However, it is the end of the world now. Who would have nothing better to do than to crack the surrounding radio? Therefore, the communication of Mawudi and his people is very safe. As for Brother Zhaoma in the words, it is Mawudi's code name. Yes, that's right. Mawudi's idol is Brother Zhaoma, played by Chow Yun-fat in the movie A Better Tomorrow. After the captain of Team 1 finished his report, the captains of Teams 2 and 3 also reported their positions to Mawudi one after another. Although these team members are all riding horses, these black war horses are fast and silent when running. The level has reached the level of 4. The defense of the gathering place in Xiong City is particularly lax. Therefore, the sneaking in was quite simple and easy. After the first 3 teams sneaked in, the young man with the rabbit mouth thought that Mawudi would also sneak in with the 4th team. Unexpectedly, Mawudi drove his horse directly to the main gate of the gathering place. The young man with the rabbit mouth was shocked. Is this going to break down the door? Yes, he guessed right. Mawudi was going to take the 4th team and break in directly. Chapter 361 Chapter 364, Dark Horse, Flying Over the Eaves and Walls. Previously, the gate of the Xiong City gathering place had been directly destroyed by the meteorite summoned by Lin Kong. So, the people in the gathering place quickly moved various woods, iron plates, and stones to rebuild a simple gate. Because everyone is a new human, they have all kinds of strange superpowers. For example, those, Wrath of the Earth, that can change the terrain. Therefore, the big pit at the gate was not difficult to fill. In less than half an hour, the big pit was filled, and it took another half an hour for everyone to use their superpowers to simply repair the collapsed wall. A brand new iron gate also stood on the ground again, although Three-Eyed Corpse does not pay attention to the defense of the entire gathering place. The gate is still guarded by new humans at all times. These new humans sent to guard the gate are a little panicked. They look up at the sky from time to time, worried that another huge meteorite will fall from the sky. The previous few people died miserably and were smashed into meat paste. Because the meteorite created a huge shockwave when it fell, the bodies that turned into meat and mud were blown everywhere like flour. Now, these new guards can smell the blood in the air around them. They don't want to be killed by meteorites for no reason. Therefore, some of them are always staring at the sky. Fortunately, it is night now. If there are more meteorites falling from outer space, the red burning appearance will be discovered by everyone at once. However, what was unexpected was that before the meteorites arrived, a black cavalry squad suddenly rushed out from the dark night nearby. The problem is that when this cavalry squad charged, there was no sound. A new human guard looked around casually and happened to see the cavalry squad without horses. Ah, ghosts. He was startled, facing the 6 tall black horses that suddenly rushed in front of him. The new human guard thought it was a ghost. As a new human, his eyesight is naturally excellent. Although the moonlight at night was not as bright as the sunlight during the day, he could see the appearance of the black war horses clearly. However, the new human guard did not think that the horse that ran without making any sound was a normal horse. As for resistance, it was even more impossible. Facing the cavalry charge of Mawudi, the new human guard threw down the flashlight in his hand and ran away. After hearing the scream, the other new human guards turned their heads, but when they saw Mawudi clearly, the black war horse under Mawudi's crotch had already rushed to the front of the gate. Bang! With a loud bang, the iron gate that had just been erected was directly knocked down by the level 4 black war horse. Immediately, the other 5 black war horses behind Mawudi followed and rushed into the gathering place. Their goal was not to occupy the gate, but the tallest building in the gathering place, the 30-story office building standing in the center of the gathering place. Therefore, after crashing the gate, the 6 strong and tall black war horses did not stop, but rushed directly to the office building 200 meters away. The new human gatekeepers at the gate of the gathering place just reacted and were about to pick up their weapons to start attacking. But they found that there was only a green plastic bag floating slowly in the air above the street. It was the plastic bag blown up by the strong wind when the black war horse passed by. On the street, the 6 unmatched black horses just now had no shadow at this moment. The strangest thing was that they were running so fast, but everyone didn't even hear the sound of horse hooves. Everyone was a new human with excellent hearing, but still didn't hear any sound. Was it an illusion? Could it be that there was no black war horse breaking in? Everyone couldn't help but have a strange idea. But then, they immediately dispelled this idea, because when they turned around, the iron gate that had just been erected had collapsed on the ground. It was obvious that a small group of cavalrymen dressed in black had indeed rushed up. Soon, they sounded the alarm for the gathering place. The shrill sound of whistles sounded above the gathering place. When the alarm sounded, Mawudi's 4th team had already rushed to the bottom of the office building. At this moment, inside the office building, some rooms on the floors were brightly lit. Of course, there were diesel engines that could generate electricity in this gathering place. The electricity for the office building came from this. Living inside, there were new human warriors above level 3. As well as high-level zombies of level 4 or 5. Strictly speaking, zombies do not need sleep. However, when these zombies evolved to a high level, they suddenly wanted to work at sunrise and rest at sunset like humans. Gradually, some high-level zombies actually learned to sleep. An unexpected surprise occurred. After learning to sleep, the spiritual cores in the brains of these high-level zombies actually began to evolve slowly. The original text is available at LU number 9/. In other words, sleep actually helps evolution. This great news made the Three-Eyed Corpse overjoyed, so it forced more high-level zombies to learn to sleep. not only learning to sleep, but also learning human entertainment projects. For example, gladiator games. Watching humans fighting each other with weapons in the football field. This stimulating scene made the zombies' brains evolve. Therefore, the three-eyed corpse captured more humans to act as gladiators. These poor gladiators no longer played football in the football field, but killed each other. Recently, the rabbit-mouth youth also came up with a new project to let gladiators fight with mutant beasts. In short, if no one comes to manage, the high-level zombies in the Ziyang City gathering place will become stronger and stronger. There will be more and more high-level zombies of level 4 and level 5. I believe that in the near future, there will be a large number of level 6 zombies such as three-eyed corpse. Mawudi learned this from the information of the chairman before. He understands the horror of the Ziyang City gathering place. So, here he comes. These damn zombies not only eat humans, but also keep humans in captivity like fighting cocks and let humans kill each other. How can such behavior be tolerated? Mawudi was very angry in his heart. He had to cut that level 6 shit, three-eyed corpse, into pieces. It was precisely because of his hatred for zombies that Mawudi took the initiative to delay the assassination of Lin Kong, although he was under the orders of the chairman, and the chairman had done him a favor. However, there is a basic principle that the importance of internal fighting between people is always less than the external fighting between people and zombies. Therefore, no matter what, the gathering place of Ziyang City must be captured first. Brothers, go! Mawudi raised his arms and shouted. Yes, the other 5 team members responded. Then, Mawudi rushed straight to the office building. Then, he saw the black warhorse leaping from the ground. A breeze blew. Still no sound. 6 black horses landed on the wall outside the office building. Then, they quickly ran on the fragile glass curtain wall, towards the top of the building. They ran vertically to the ground. The rabbit-mouthed young man was stunned. He thought the horses were going to crash directly into the building. But who would have thought that these black war horses with silent hooves could actually run on the wall? At this moment, there were only 2 words left in the mind of the rabbit-mouthed young man. Awesome. Chapter 362 Lin Kong, promoted to level 2. In the night, under the bright moonlight, on the flat outer wall, 6 black horses, like a gust of wind, ran to the top of the building. On the top of the 30-story office building, the cool autumn wind blew across everyone's cheeks. As soon as they arrived at the top of the building, the 5 archers of the 4th squad dispersed and stood guard in different directions. At the same time, the captains of the other 3 squads also looked up and saw Mawudi on the top of the tall building. Under the surprised eyes of the rabbit-mouth youth, Mawudi picked up the horn. He cleared his throat first. Then, he shouted loudly, "Dear zombies, attention, you have been surrounded by me. Please, come and die." After Mawudi shouted, the other 5 archer cavalrymen also picked up the loudspeakers and shouted the same words loudly, "Dear zombies, attention, you have been surrounded by us. Please, come and die." Hearing their words, the rabbit-mouth youth was immediately confused. "I thought your tactics would be so powerful, and I thought your loudspeakers would have very powerful special functions. As a result, your loudspeakers are really just used to increase the volume. It turns out that the reason you came to the roof is to make the sound spread farther so that everyone can hear it." The rabbit-mouth youth saw that the loudspeaker had no special effect, and he couldn't help but secretly said that it was not good. At this moment, he could no longer think of a way to escape. Moreover, he and Mawudi were sitting on the same black horse. Mawudi shouted with the loudspeaker, as long as they were not blind, everyone would understand instantly that it was him who brought Mawudi to the gathering place. Once Mawudi was killed by the three-eyed corpse, his fate would not be much better. Thinking of this, the young man with the rabbit mouth could not help but sigh sadly. When Mawudi shouted loudly, Lin Kong, who was in the luxury hotel of the gathering place, had completed the 7th self-mutilation recovery. He had self-mutilated 7 times in total, but 5 of them triggered the hidden attribute of the old mankin's body surface. Every time it was triggered, 2 more wisps of spiritual energy like smoke would appear in Lin Kong's body. After 5 triggers, Lin Kong opened his eyes. and white light burst out from his eyes. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but lift up. Lin Kong lowered his head and looked up and down at his body. From his strong feet, all the way up, he observed his muscular arms. Yes, at this moment, Lin Kong has been promoted from a level 1 new human to a level 2. The spiritual energy in his body also increased from 10 strands to 20 strands. After upgrading to the level 2 new human, Lin Kong's gains were not only the increase of spiritual energy in his body. Moreover, the muscles of his whole body became stronger and more powerful. This feeling is really great. Ha ha ha. Lin Kong laughed and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. This cold sweat came out of his forehead because of the severe pain when he just hurt himself. And moving his eyes downward, he could see that there was a large pool of scarlet blood under Lin Kong's feet. That was all flowing out of his body when he just hurt himself. Old Man Qin looked at the blood on the ground, and then looked at Lin Kong's happy face. Perhaps others would think that Lin Kong's upgrade was too lucky and too against the will of heaven. But Old Man Qin believed that what Lin Kong gained was not unexpected. Such repeated self-mutilation for a full 7 times is definitely not something that ordinary people can do. But Lin Kong did it. The effort he put in and the pain he endured far exceeded that of others. Therefore, luck was naturally on his side. How about we try again and see if we can increase our strength? Lin Kong was still not satisfied. He had great ambitions. It would be great if he could directly use the body surface of Old Man Qin to advance to level 3 in one night. No need to try. No need to try. It's useless. My level is only level 3, so the hidden ability of body surface can only increase other people's spiritual energy to level 2 at most. Old Man Qin hurriedly stopped Lin Kong from continuing to hurt himself. In fact, he had already explained this to Lin Kong in the lounge. After Lin Kong cleaned the machete, he put it back into the scabbard at his waist. He was so excited just now that he forgot about the problem of not being able to continue to improve. There was no other way. He could only find a way to let Old Man Qin advance to level 4 new human, and then use his power to break through to level 3. Besides, I have already advanced from level 0 new human to level 1 in just a few hours. And now I have advanced to level 2. The original text is available at Liu number 9/. This upgrade speed is already fast enough. I can't ask for more. Soon, Lin Kong adjusted his mood. The three-eyed corpse on the sign was slowly absorbing the red energy in the meteorite. This basketball-sized meteorite was naturally one of the 20 that Lin Kong had just summoned. Three-eyed corpse seemed to be smoking a cigar, holding the meteorite in both hands and inhaling it one puff after another. With each puff, three-eyed corpse would close its 3 eyes at the same time, savoring the full feeling brought by the red energy. Wow, so good. Three-eyed corpse felt very comfortable. The thousands of pores on its body were trembling comfortably. Because it was too comfortable, its vigilance was reduced a lot. And it did not discover Ma Wuti and others who had sneaked in time. Even if the alarm sounded in the gathering place, three-eyed corpse did not care. Anyway, there would be other high-level zombies to clean up the trivial matters in the gathering place. Generally speaking, a three-eyed corpse at level 6 does not need to do it himself. It was not until Ma Wuti shouted provocatively with a loudspeaker that the three-eyed corpse suddenly opened its eyes. Who is making noise? Turning its head, the three-eyed corpse's sharp eyes instantly penetrated the glass and reached the roof of the office building 100 meters away. Then, it saw 6 archer knights. They rode their horses to the roof of the office building and shouted with a loudspeaker. The three-eyed corpse touched its hooked nose, and a playful smile appeared on its thin lips. Interesting. Lin Kong had also heard the alarm sounded by the gathering place before, and with a level 6, three-eyed corpse, he certainly didn't care. But when he heard Ma Wuti's strange provocation of "please come and die," Lin Kong immediately became very interested. Who on earth is this person? He actually dared to come to the gathering place in Xiong City to cause trouble, and he was holding a loudspeaker and openly provoking. Is he looking for death? Or is he looking for death? So, Lin Kong and Old Man Qin ran to the balcony of the luxury hotel and looked in the direction of the office building. They all wanted to know how these people who came to provoke with loudspeakers would die. Three-eyed corpse also walked to the balcony in the air. It stepped on the air and looked at the 6 archer knights on the top of the building with interest. As the most powerful zombie, three-eyed corpse, naturally couldn't be the first to take action. All it had to do now was to watch the show from the side, because there would naturally be other high-level zombies to deal with these ignorant humans. Suddenly, three-eyed corpse's 3 eyes showed a serious expression. Huh? Why are there a lot of strange breaths in the 3 directions nearby? Three-eyed corpse's perception ability is extremely sharp. At this moment, it did not absorb the red energy of the meteorite from outer space. Its mind was in a highly concentrated state, so it could easily find the 3 teams lurking on the left, right, and back of the gathering place. In an instant, three-eyed corpse understood. It turns out that the loudspeaker on the building was just to attract attention. The real killer move was probably the 3 teams lurking around. After discovering Mawudi's combat intention, the three-eyed corpse couldn't help but smile smugly. Its heart was full of disdain. Is this the only tactic? Haha, it's just child's play. Chapter 363 Pork Potion. It was a quiet night. After Mawudi shouting, the entire Ziyang City gathering place immediately became boiling. There were shrill sirens, discussions among new humans, and the roars of various types of mutant zombies. Some nimble figures jumped out of the house and came to the roof, looking at the 6 figures riding horses on the roof of the office building. Fuck, how did these people get up there? They are horses, but they don't have wings. You are really stupid. It's obvious that they used some kind of superpower. I don't know if they are strong enough. It would be great if they could really eliminate all the zombies in the gathering place. I also hope that the 6 Black Knights will become heroes who save everyone, but looking at their carefree appearance, it feels like they are just here to get killed. Everyone was discussing fiercely, and they held different attitudes. Some supported Mawudi and hoped that he could save everyone from the dire situation. Some people thought they were stupid, not knowing how to attack in the dark, and even ran to the rooftop with a loudspeaker to shout. After hearing Mawudi's provocation, the zombies all had a unified attitude. Eat them, eat their bodies, eat the fresh meat of the black horses under their crotches. The zombies only wanted to eat the arrogant Black Knights on the rooftop. They gathered from all directions and rushed to the bottom of the office building. Some smarter high-level zombies had already taken the elevator to the rooftop. This office building is 30 stories high. Looking down from the top of the building, the zombies surrounding on the ground are like ants running in a hurry. The reason why Mawudi dared to run to the rooftop openly was that he had something to rely on. Lin Kong, a level 1, could openly shout at the level 6, three-eyed corpse, because he relied on Lin Kong's superpower, summon meteorites. However, Mawudi, a level 4, did not rely on his superpower. Unlike Lin Kong's abnormal superpower, Mawudi's superpower is just a very ordinary Vajra blade. This superpower is possessed by Jin Bawang, who came to Juzi village to hunt down Li Kegi. Jin Bawang's brother Jin Bawang also possesses it. Murong Jing, who is the team leader of soldiers, also possesses it. The common point of these 3 people is that their superpowers are exactly the same, and at the same time, their final endings are similar. The 2 brothers Jin Bawang and Jin Bawang were killed. Murong Jing's body is now only the upper half, and he is constantly being questioned by Li Minutes as a superpower, yes or no. For information, his situation is even worse than death. So far, those who have Vajra Blade and oppose Lin Kong have all ended up in a miserable way. Now, a new human with Vajra Blade has appeared. Mawudi is not going to use the ability of Vajra Blade to deal with the mutant zombies in the gathering place of Ziyang City. Looking coldly at the high-level zombies under the office building, he slowly touched the metal belt around his waist. Inside the metal belt, there are special medicines. These needle-shaped medicines are made of bulletproof glass. Even if Mawudi accidentally falls, these medicines will not be damaged. These are some precious medicines given to them by the president. There are 2 colors of medicines in Mawudi's metal belt. Their names are the red pork medicine and the leek medicine with green solution. Mawudi's fingers slid across the 2 different colors of medicines. Finally, the finger stopped on the pork medicine with red liquid. This is the result of Mawudi's thinking. The leak medicine is best used on level 5 and 6 super zombies. For mutant zombies like level 4 or below, the pork medicine is enough. Click. The buckle of the metal belt was opened, and a bottle of red pork medicine was taken out. Pop. The lid of the pork medicine was opened, and a few wisps of red mist slowly floated out. Mawudi still had no intention of getting off his horse. He put away the loudspeaker and took out his bow and arrow. The pork potion was placed on the arrowhead. Mawudi bent his bow and put an arrow on it while calmly instructing the members of the fourth team. Mule, you go guard the entrance to the rooftop. The other 4 people, guard the 4 directions respectively, and use the fireworks tactics. Yes. The members of the fourth team responded in unison. The fireworks tactics was a killing tactic that Mawudi had decided on a long time ago. When the team members heard the fireworks tactics, they immediately and quickly took out the pork potion from their metal belts. Pa, pa, pa. The caps of the red pork potion bottles were opened one after another. After opening, the pork potion was installed on the arrowhead. Brother Ma, there are already zombies rushing up from the stairs. The mule archer guarding the entrance to the rooftop reported in a low voice. Hearing the familiar voice of the mule archer, Mawudi smiled slightly and commanded, just act accordingly. Mawudi knew the strength of the mule archer, so he was very confident in him. The mule archer replied, I understand, and drove the black horse under his crotch to the staircase. This is the only entrance to the roof. So, the mule archer moved to the side of the entrance. He also took out a bottle of pork potion. The difference is that he did not install the pork potion on the arrow, but opened it directly and sprinkled it at the entrance. A particularly strong fragrance suddenly emanated from the red solution of the potion. The rabbit-mouthed young man on the side, after smelling this strong fragrance, couldn't help but secrete a lot of saliva in his mouth. This is the smell of braised pork. It smells so good. The rabbit-mouthed young man is now quite puzzled. He still doesn't know what Mawudi's tactics are. Why is this so-called pork potion so fragrant? What effect will it have? Next, the scene at the entrance of the rooftop will make the rabbit-mouthed young man suddenly realize. After the mule archer poured the pork potion, he turned around. The scene at this moment is that the pork potion that makes people drool is at the entrance. The black horse stands on the side of the entrance, facing the entrance with its butt. The mule archer is sitting on the black horse in reverse. Therefore, his eyes are facing the entrance of the rooftop at this moment, and he has a sinister smile on his face. Dong dong dong. After 2 or 3 seconds, there are chaotic footsteps coming from the stairs. The original text is in the 6 number 9 ed book. Bar. It's the zombies running up. When these zombies see the other people on the rooftop, they can't wait to roar. Ho ho tilde, eat meat. Ho ho tilde, I'll eat you. These are all advanced zombies of level 3 and level 4, and they can already speak some simple words. The mule archer stood at the side of the entrance, and the zombies did not see him. After the zombies rushed to the stairs, they wanted to pounce on Mawudi and others. However, a strong fragrance broke into their noses. Wow, this fragrance. It smells so good. The zombies looked at the pork potion on the ground. The fragrance of this pork potion far exceeded the attraction of human flesh and blood to them. Mine, mine. Some zombies who ran fast strode forward and pounced on the red solution on the ground. However, when this zombie just pounced in front of the pork potion, he stretched out his tongue, but before he could lick it, there was a whistling sound of wind in his ears. At this moment, the zombie's attention was all on the seemingly delicious pork potion, and it didn't care about the whistling sound of the wind in its ears. So, bang, the zombie's head was kicked hard by the iron hoof of the black horse's hind legs. The iron hoof with great force not only flattened the zombie's head, but also kicked the zombie's body to the edge of the roof. Then, this unlucky zombie fell directly from the sky to the ground. Its brain had been kicked to pieces by the horse's hoof, so when it fell, it did not make a strange cry of fear. 1 point. The mule archer calculated proudly. 1 zombie was kicked away, and another zombie followed. It also rushed straight to the pork potion on the ground. Pa! The mule archer slapped the black horse's butt. The black horse immediately raised its hind legs and kicked with all its strength. Bang! Once again, the hard horse hoof accurately hit the zombie's head. So, Another zombie was kicked away. Although these mutant zombies have evolved to the level 3 and 4, their brains are not very good, because the attraction of pork potion far exceeded the attraction of human flesh. They all rushed to the pork potion. They had no idea of finding out the murderer who killed their companions. In fact, these zombies even felt lucky. It would be better if the other zombies died. The delicious red liquid on the ground would belong to me. So, these zombies with extremely low IQs rushed to the entrance one after another, and then were kicked away by the iron hooves of the black horses one after another. The level of the black horses under the crotch of the crowd is level 4. With deliberate planning, these mutant zombies that rushed up were all kicked to death one by one. It can be seen that this is not the first time that the mule archer has done this. Look at the accuracy of the iron hoof of the black horse under his crotch. Every kick hits the zombie's head exactly. The probability of killing is almost an astonishing 90%. The remaining 10% of zombies that were not kicked cannot escape the fate of death, because the mule archer has raised his bow and arrow, aiming at the zombies that were not kicked. With the sound of puff, the zombies that were not kicked and the vital parts will be shot directly through the head by the mule archer's arrow. Ordinary alloy arrows can't penetrate the hard zombie heads at all, but the arrows equipped by these Night Cavalry Regiment are special arrows that the President has personally researched. These special arrows can carry the aura of new humans, making them harder and sharper. Naturally, they can also penetrate the iron head of the mutant zombies. Every time he kicked one away, the mule archer calculated in his mouth, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 11 points, 12 points. With this fishing tactic, the archer code-named Mule guarded the entrance to the rooftop by himself. Just like that, one man guards the pass and 10,000 men cannot open it. The crisis at the rooftop entrance has been resolved. The next step is to deal with the high-level zombies that climb directly up from the outer wall of the building. Chapter 364 Fireworks Tactics. Generally speaking, when the pork potion is installed on the arrow, there is no need to open the bottle cap. So, why did Mawudi and his team open the bottle cap? This is because of the requirements of the fireworks tactics. When the bottle cap is opened and the arrow is shot out, the pork potion in the bottle will remain along the bottle mouth. This bottle mouth has been specially treated, and it will not flow out all at once. In short, after the arrow is shot out, the pork potion will be in a straight line and evenly scattered. But what are the benefits of doing this? Swish, 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 swish. Only the arrows cut through the air and made bursts of noise. Mawudi and the 4 team members in other directions shot arrows at the ground 100 meters away. As expected, the pork potion on the arrowhead formed a straight line and fell down as practiced before. Soon, the arrow accurately inserted into the hard concrete ground. Because of the strong impact, the potion bottle shattered. The remaining liquid inside splashed out as the bottle broke. Originally, those level 3 and level 4 mutant zombies were heading straight for the office building. However, when they smelled the strong aroma of the pork potion, they turned around. What's so delicious about human flesh? This red liquid that fell from the sky seemed to be dozens of times more delicious than human flesh. When the noses of these high-level zombies smelled the fragrant and tempting aroma, they even secreted a lot of saliva in their mouths like humans. Unlike humans, the expressions of these zombies were more fanatical. Their eyes instantly turned red and bloodthirsty. Hee delicious. Hee delicious tilde. They behaved exactly the same as the zombies at the entrance of the rooftop terrace. The only difference was that there were more zombies under this building. Roughly estimated, there were at least thousands of them. This red pork potion was relatively sticky. Even when it fell from the air, it did not disperse like powder. When it fell to the ground, the sticky pork potion stuck to the ground firmly. When the zombies nearby saw it fall, they rushed over. From a distance, they looked like ants that found candy. 5 people, 5 directions, 5 arrows, 5 bottles of pork potion. On the ground, 5 straight lines were formed with the office building as the origin. Next to each straight line, there were crowded zombies kneeling down to lick the pork potion on the ground. On the roof of the office building, Mawudi raised his arm and called out, "Brothers, draw your swords." Swish, swish, Swish. The team members then put away their bows and arrows and drew their swords on their backs. Vajra Blade. Activate. Under Mawudi's command, everyone activated their superpowers. Vajra Blade. Yes, the superpowers of the members of this fourth team are all the most common. Vajra Blade. Buzz 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 tilde. The dazzling golden light bloomed from the blades of everyone's swords. With the blessing of the Vajra Blade, the alloy swords in everyone's hands, which were originally sharp and hard, became even more powerful. At this time, Mawudi put down the rabbit-mouthed youth. He drove the black horse under his crotch to the edge of the roof. He raised the alloy sword that was shining with golden light and shouted, "It's time, let's start charging." As soon as the voice fell, 5 knights jumped down from the roof. This office building has 30 floors, so of course they will not jump directly to the ground. Still used the previous method. The 4 hooves of the black horse stepped steadily on the outer wall of the building. The 5 knights in black clothes charged at the zombies on the ground. They ran faster and faster. However, even at a faster speed, almost no sound was made. The zombies lying on the ground licking the pork potion did not notice the charge of the 5 black knights at all. So, puff 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 puff, as a black figure rushed past, a dazzling golden light flashed, and big heads flew into the sky one after another, and purple-black zombie blood splashed out. It took Mawudi only about 3 seconds to charge from the bottom of the building to a place 100 meters away. In these 3 seconds, the alloy sword in his hand cut off the heads of nearly 100 zombies. The smelly blood flowed all over the ground. Of course, it is impossible to kill all the zombies in a straight line with just one charge. There are still many zombies alive. Although the companions beside them were killed, those stupid zombies didn't care at all. The original text is in Liu number 9 at book/bar. They continued to stick out their tongues and licked the remaining pork potion on the ground frantically. But the pork potion was firmly stuck to the ground. Although they licked it very hard, they couldn't lick it clean no matter what. There was no way. They could only continue to lick. As a result, the remaining zombies had no defensive vigilance at all. They were like domestic pigs in a pigsty, waiting to be slaughtered by the butcher. Mawudi turned his horse's head, and then accelerated. He launched a second charge. When charging, the black horse did not directly hit the zombies. Because the zombies have a good physique, they cannot be killed by a collision. As long as their heads are chopped off, they will die. Therefore, the movement trajectory of the black horse is next to the zombies. And Mawudi on the black horse is the main person responsible for harvesting the zombies' heads. The sturdy black horse, moving its iron hooves, launched a silent charge. The fallen leaves on the ground were rolled up. Mawudi raised the alloy sword in his hand that was shining with golden light. Puff 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 puff. A pleasant sound rang out. The zombies' heads, like watermelons, rolled all over the ground. The second charge killed dozens of zombies. Looking back, there were still hundreds of high-level zombies remaining on this straight line. Turning his horse's head, Mawudi launched a third charge while the aroma of the pork potion had not yet evaporated. While Mawudi was harvesting the zombies' heads, the other 4 team members were also harvesting them in the same way. The rabbit-mouthed young man, who was on the roof of the building, lay on the edge of the roof, watching Mawudi and his team charging like the god of death below. His eyes were filled with deep shock. His face showed a stunned look. It was amazing. This method of harvesting zombies was so efficient and amazing. Previously, the rabbit-mouthed young man was still a little confused. He wondered why Mawudi had gone to so much trouble to make these zombies appear in a straight line. So that's it. The straight line is for the convenience of charging. After several charges back and forth, 600 or 700 zombies lying on the ground licking the potion soon died. The bodies of these zombies were distributed in 5 straight lines with the office building as the center. Looking down from the sky, it looked like a flower blooming. Therefore, Mawudi called this tactic, flower tactics. But later he felt that flower tactics sounded ugly. At the suggestion of the mule archer, Mawudi changed the flower tactics to fireworks tactics. Well, it sounds more literary now. Mawudi was very satisfied with this tactic of harvesting zombies. While Mawudi was satisfied, the level 5 zombies in the dark were very dissatisfied. They didn't expect that these humans on horses had such insidious means. They were angry. They thought that this kind of rubbish shouting with a loudspeaker was not worthy of these level 5 zombie masters. Now it seems that they must appear. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 365 Level 5 Leather Shoe Zombie. Actually, as the secret leader of the World Salvation Chamber of Commerce, the president has been focusing on how humans can fight against bloodthirsty and brutal zombies. How can low-level new humans kill high-level mutant zombies? Even, how can 4 or 5 new humans cooperate to kill 4 or 5,000 zombies? Therefore, the president has developed many special potions specifically for dealing with zombies. For example, the pork potion that Mawudi used just now, and the green leek potion that Mawudi has not used yet. In fact, Mawudi's Night Cavalry Regiment was not formed by Mawudi alone. Most of the members of the Night Cavalry Regiment are elite new humans selected by the president himself. The black horses in the Night Cavalry Regiment that run without sound are also high-level mutant beasts cultivated by the president using special means. Of course, the most powerful one belongs to the president, who is good at manufacturing. Mawudi is just a tool man who is good at commanding team members to fight. It is precisely because the president has never studied the efficient way to kill humans that Lin Kong is still alive. Once the president is committed to the internal fighting between humans, it is not polite to say that the president can now occupy almost half of the earth. The president actually does not want to send someone to kill Lin Kong, but who asked the pink-coated cannon man to predict that Lin Kong, who raises dinosaurs, would be in danger of his life. There is no way. In order to protect himself, the president can only send Mawudi, who specializes in killing zombies, to kill Lin Kong. Even, it was discovered that Lin Kong's growth rate was too fast, and the president had to do it himself. In short, Mawudi, who is known as the zombie nemesis, may have a hard time winning against the new humans of level 5. However, if a level 5 zombie comes to him, it is to seek death. Mawudi will let all level 5 zombies understand how to write the word death. What is the opinion of the word death, and how many gestures there are for the word death? Mawudi has absolute self-confidence in fighting zombies. Therefore, he dared to openly run to the rooftop of the tallest office building in Xiong City with a megaphone and shout seemingly beyond his ability. After killing nearly 1,000 level 3 and level 4 zombies with the fireworks tactics, Mawudi reined in the black warhorse under his crotch. He felt that powerful forces were slowly emerging from the darkness. It was probably the level 5 zombies that were about to come out. When he thought of this, Mawudi's eyes could not help but reveal a raging fighting spirit like a flame. His fingers quietly moved to the cold metal belt. This time, his index finger stayed in the transparent glass bottle containing the green solution. That was the leak potion developed by the president. This leak potion has quite amazing functions. Hutilda. As a breeze blew, the 4 members of the 4th team all drove their horses to Mawudi's side. The mule archer who was in charge of guarding the entrance to the rooftop also felt that there were several terrifying zombies lurking in the dark, revealing an amazing aura. So he joined Mawudi. Everyone rode on tall horses, stood on the flat ground of the street, formed a circle, and looked in different directions. The black warhorse under Mawudi's crotch was gently swinging its tail. Mawudi himself, on the other hand, wiped the smelly black blood that splashed on his cheeks when he was killing just now with his sleeve. At this moment, the 4th team was waiting for the hidden level 5 zombies to reveal their figures. The 1st team, the 2nd team, and the 3rd team continued to guard the left, right, and back of the gathering place, waiting quietly in 3 locations. The hook-nosed, 3-eyed corpse, holding a basketball-sized black meteorite in both hands, stood in front of the French window of the luxury hotel and looked at Mawudi on the street. It looked confident and did not take these arrogant humans riding strange horses seriously at all. The 3-eyed corpse watched the upcoming show while absorbing the delicious red energy contained in the meteorite from outer space. Old Man Keen and Lin Kong on the side also thought that this group of black knights carrying bows and arrows were looking for death. Observing the fluctuations of their spiritual energy, Lin Kong guessed that the strength of Mawudi and others was only a new human of level 4. But, the three-eyed corpse was a level 6 zombie. Lin Kong had experienced the strange skills of the three-eyed corpse that came out of his stomach, and he knew very well how powerful the three-eyed corpse was. Therefore, Lin Kong felt that Mawudi and others were almost dead. Then, the question was, should we find a way to save these Black Knights who overestimated their own abilities? Lin Kong decisively came to the answer, no. He finally found a powerful younger brother, so he would not turn against the three-eyed corpse to save a group of strange and arrogant knights. Of course, Lin Kong also quite supported Mawudi's approach to eradicate zombies. He also hated these zombies who were cruel and fond of human flesh. However, for Lin Kong now, rescuing his mother from the evil president is obviously the most important thing. The original text is available at LU number 9 at book/bar. In short, it is either due to insufficient strength or due to other fears. None of the onlookers were willing to take the initiative to help Mawudi and his men, but the onlookers did not know that Mawudi did not need help from others at all. Under his order, all the members of the fourth team beside him installed the green leak potion on the arrowheads. At this time, 3 level 4 advanced zombies rushed up with their fangs and claws. Eat you. Facing this kind of mutant zombies of the same level, Mawudi did not need to use the precious green leak potion. He stood there without moving, observing the situation around him. The 3 level 4 high-level zombies stomped heavily on the ground and rushed towards Mawudi, who was standing still. Seeing this, the 3 archer knights beside Mawudi immediately drove their horses to meet him. Bang, bang, bang. With 3 muffled sounds, the 3 level 4 high-level zombies were instantly kicked away by the iron hooves of the Black Warhorse. These stupid zombies had too low IQs and their attack movements were too obvious, so when facing new humans of the same level, they had no power to resist. When the 3 zombies were solved, Mawudi's face did not show joy. On the contrary, he became solemn, because, after a level 4 zombie was kicked to the ground, a foot wearing leather shoes stepped on the head of the level 4 zombie. However, after the level 4 zombie was stepped on the head by the foot wearing leather shoes, it did not dare to make any movements. The sight moved from the leather shoes to the top. What he saw first was a muscular lower body in suit pants, then an upper body without clothes, with 8 bulging abdominal muscles on the abdomen. Finally, a head drooling. The facial features of this head were almost the same as those of a normal person. The only difference was the bloodthirsty red eyes and the terrifying mouth full of fine fangs. This leather shoe zombie stomped on the head of the level 4 zombie lying on the ground. From beginning to end, the level 4 zombie did not resist. Obviously, the level of this leather shoe zombie was higher than that of the level 4 zombie. Maybe it was level 5, or maybe it was level 6. Mawudi narrowed his eyes. He was not sure about the level of this leather shoe zombie, but what he was sure of was that he would kill this guy who was drooling at him next. Chapter 366 Death of Level 5 Zombie. The information worth providing is that, whether it is a zombie or a new human, after reaching level 5, the suppression force in the body will undergo a transformation. It will change from ordinary suppression force to Taishan type suppression force. Mawudi knew this very well. Facing the level 5 leather shoe zombie, he moved the spiritual energy in his Danshin to the surface of his body. A flashing white light emanated from his body. He bent his bow and aimed at the abdomen of the leather shoe zombie. The green leak potion had also been installed on the arrow. Mawudi was ready. The 5 team members beside him were also ready to go. After the leather shoe zombie crushed his companion's head, he rushed directly to Mawudi, who was in the lead. At the same time, in the house next to the street, 5 ghostly figures rushed towards the other team members. A closer look showed that the 5 lightning-like figures, with their eyes flashing bloodthirsty red light. There is no doubt that these 5 figures are also zombies. Moreover, observing their speed, they have far exceeded the speed of level 4 zombies. In other words, they are level 5 zombies. At this moment, including the leather shoe zombie, a total of 6 level 5 zombies rushed towards Mawudi and his team. 6 against 6. In terms of numbers, the two forces are the same, but in terms of level, the zombies are generally one level higher than Mawudi's team members. In the end, will the zombies feast on them, or will Mawudi kill them in desperation? The eyes of everyone around are focused on the 12 figures on the street. Shoot! Mawudi gave a decisive order when the 6 zombies rushed up from different directions. The team members took aim and released their bows and arrows. With the sound of swoosh, 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 the bows and arrows carrying the leak potion quickly shot towards the target. Then, all of them were empty, including Mawudi, who had the best archery skills. He did not shoot the leather shoe zombie that pounced on him, because these zombies actually run in an S shape. Yes, they did not rush straight towards Mawudi and his group, but moved forward in a snake-like manner, with uncertain directions. So, all the arrows of the team members shot on the ground. Hey, you want to shoot us with those broken bows? The leather shoe zombie laughed loudly, while jumping high and directly rushing towards Mawudi from the air. Level 3 zombies can already say some simple words. Level 4 zombies can say complete sentences. And as level 5 zombies, they already have a certain IQ. Of course, they will not charge straight ahead stupidly. Therefore, when seeing Mawudi and other humans raising their bows and aiming, these level 5 mutant zombies have already thought of ways to dodge. Obviously, in the first confrontation, humans have fallen into a disadvantage. 6 level 5 zombies have already rushed to Mawudi and others. And Mawudi and his group no longer have time to continue shooting arrows. This is the disadvantage of bows and arrows. They cannot be fired continuously, and you have to bend the bow and put the arrow on it. Mawudi was also a little surprised. He had never fought against a level 5 zombie before. He didn't expect that the brain of a level 5 zombie was so good that it could actually learn to run like a snake. However, it was just a little bit of a surprise, because the president had given Mawudi a detailed strategy for restraining level 5 zombies. So, Mawudi smiled slightly. Even though the fierce and unusual leather shoe zombie had rushed to him, Mawudi still looked confident. Draw your gun. 2 loud Chinese characters popped out of Mawudi's mouth. Swish, swish, swish. The team members around him threw away their bows and arrows and quickly took out the pistols on their waists. Next, there was no need for orders at all. The team members had already raised their guns and fired according to the plan set before. Bang, 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 bang. Bullets poured out from the muzzles. The zombies were so close, and the speed of pistol bullets was much faster than that of arrows. Therefore, it was impossible for these zombies to dodge bullets. The onlookers were very surprised. Since you have a pistol, why do you still have a bow and arrow? In fact, bows and arrows are used to deceive people. As we all know, zombies have low IQs, and even at the level of level 5 or 6, their thinking patterns are relatively simple. If a zombie sees you using a bow and arrow all the time, it will subconsciously think that you don't have a gun. Then, you can take out a gun and kill the zombies by surprise. Similarly, when you face a high-level zombie, you can also keep fighting with a dagger. And when the zombie relaxes its vigilance, you can take out a gun and shoot it fatally. When humans fight zombies, their biggest advantage is always their brains and tools. Facing the bullets shot at them, these level 5 zombies were all shocked. They didn't expect that these damn humans could be so insidious. They were just using the backward bows and arrows of ancient times, but now they suddenly took out modern weapons. This change was really unexpected. However, these zombies are level 5 zombies after all. Their reaction speed has been greatly enhanced, and their eyesight has also evolved by leaps and bounds. Ordinary people cannot see the trajectory of the bullets, but they can. They can clearly see these bullets breaking through the air and flying straight towards their abdomens. There is an unusual green light flashing on the bullets. Obviously, these are not ordinary bullets. The zombies instinctively feel the danger. They don't want to be hit by these bullets. But at this moment, the distance is too close, and if they dodge, it will be too late. The only way is the Taishan type suppression force unique to the level 5 strong. The ordinary suppression force of the level 3 zombies can make the surrounding humans fall into deep fear, so that they can't control their bodies. Ordinary people affected by the suppression force will stand still. Unless you are scared to death, your body can fall to the ground. As the zombies' levels increase, their suppression power will also be strengthened. After reaching level 5, the ordinary suppression power will be strengthened into Tarzan-type suppression power. The so-called Tarzan-type suppression power is to make the surrounding objects as heavy as Tarzan. When the bullet was shot at the zombie decisively released the Tarzan-type suppression power. With a violent fluctuation of hum, the surrounding air immediately twisted. The bullet that was originally shot at the zombie's abdomen was suddenly exerted with a huge force. It was like being hit hard by a fist. Pa pa pa. All the bullets changed direction and shot towards the ground. All 6 zombies were intact. They were not hit by those weird green bullets. In fact, the whole process of releasing the Tarzan-type suppression power and letting the bullets shoot down does not require a high IQ to consider. The simple-minded zombies just instinctively used the Tarzan suppression power for defense. After dodging the first wave of bullets, the zombies continued to launch the Tarzan-type suppression force and pounced on the 6 cunning humans. Mawudi and his men were also affected by the Tarzan-type suppression force because they were too close to the zombies. Their bodies were like being pressed by a mountain, and their chests were quietly pressed against the horse's back. The hands holding the guns seemed to be filled with lead and could not be lifted. As for the black horses under their crotches, they were also unable to resist the power of the Tarzan-type suppression force. After all, the level difference was there. The black war horse, which was level 4, also knelt on its knees and trembled constantly, as if it was carrying dozens of tons of iron on its back. In short, the 6 black knights were unable to move, and the heavy pressure made their mouths bleed. However, the 6 level 5 zombies were not affected at all, and they still opened their bloody mouths aggressively. Seeing this scene, the onlookers turned their heads away. Although they didn't have the courage to stand with Mawudi against the zombies, when they saw humans being eaten, they also felt a kind of sadness in their hearts. Lin Kong, who was in a luxury hotel, saw this scene on the street and shook his head secretly. The Tarzan-type suppression force of the level 5 zombies is much stronger than the ordinary suppression force. The original text is in Liu number 9 at book/bar. The effect is even more outstanding. If you have the courage to move forward and be invincible, then you may be able to break through the shackles of ordinary suppression force. Because ordinary suppression force only makes your brain produce strong fear and makes your body so scared that it can't move. But Tarzan-type suppression force is different. This enhanced suppression force acts directly on your body and your clothes. Both you and the clothes on your body will become very heavy. Even if you have a fearless and brave heart, you can't break free from the shackles of Tarzan-type suppression force. In other words, Lin Kong's Overlord Flame simply cannot resist this strengthened Taishan-type suppression force. At this moment, even if Lin Kong was in Mawudi's position, he could not think of a way to get out of it. Level 4 and level 5, after all, are a whole level apart. Although Mawudi's team killed level 4 zombies like chopping melons and vegetables before, however, in front of level 5 zombies, Mawudi and his team were still too weak. Thinking of this, Lin Kong secretly clenched his fist. After clenching his fist, he loosened it. Because Lin Kong felt that a human as arrogant as Mawudi would ask for death, there was no need for him to feel sorry for such a person. At this moment, whether it was the zombies or the other humans watching, they all thought that Mawudi was dead. It was estimated that both the horse and the man would be dead. However, the president, who had been studying zombies and devoted to saving the world, had long known the Taishan-type suppression force of level 5 zombies. Of course, the president had already figured out a way to deal with the Tarzan-type suppression force. Mawudi and his team members had known about this method a long time ago. So, why did he get hit now? Why did he lie on the horse's back in such a mess, shivering with blood spitting out of his mouth? The answer is simple. They are pretending. As mentioned before, zombies are creatures with simple minds. If you hold a bow and arrow in your hand, they will think that your weapon is a bow and arrow, and will not be on guard against the Desert Eagle pistol hidden on your waist. When you pretend to be hit, they will naturally think that you have no resistance. So, when the zombies open their bloody mouths and are ready to feast, you can remove your disguise. At this moment, the zombies are at their lowest alert. Attacking at this time will definitely succeed. At this time, the big mouth of the leather shoe zombie is only 20 centimeters away from Mawudi's head. At the critical moment, Mawudi raised his hand holding the gun. This action startled the onlookers. What happened? Why can his palm move? When everyone was puzzled, Lin Kong, who was in the luxury hotel, noticed that Mawudi's palm was emitting a faint green light. Wait, green light? As soon as he saw the green light, Lin Kong suddenly realized it. It was a Mawudi who had applied the mysterious green potion on his palm in advance. Lin Kong guessed that the green potion should have the effect of resisting the Taishan-type suppression force. Therefore, Mawudi's palm can move. In a flash, Lin Kong figured everything out. Involuntarily, he had developed a strong interest in the mysterious green potion. Yes, the real situation was almost the same as Lin Kong guessed. When Mawudi took out the leak potion, he had already quietly applied it on his palm. He had already started the layout, waiting for the level 5 zombies to take the bait. Mawudi's 5 team members also applied the leak potion on their palms. Because they only applied the leak potion on their palms, Mawudi and his group only moved their palms. But this was enough. Mawudi and his group only adjusted the angle of their palms, and aimed the dark muzzles at the zombies that were close at hand. With their mouths wide open and drooling, pull the trigger. Boom boom boom. All 6 bullets hit. The special bullets emitting green light successfully shot into the bodies of the defenseless zombies. Because they couldn't raise their guns to aim, everyone just aimed roughly. The bullets didn't hit the zombies' heads, but shot at the zombies' chests, abdomens, legs and other positions. However, these positions were enough, because the main purpose of these green bullets was not to kill zombies, but to make the zombies' aura ineffective. The reason why the green bullets glowed green was that the material of the bullets had the ingredient of leek potion added. The red pork potion could make the zombies go crazy and scramble to eat. However, level 5 and 6 zombies like the shoe zombie, three-eyed zombie, can resist the temptation of the pork potion with their strong mental strength. Therefore, the president specially developed the leek potion to fight against level 5 and 6 zombies. This special green solution will make zombies lose control of their spiritual energy as long as they are contaminated. This means that zombies will no longer have the terrifying Tarzan-type suppression force and they cannot use spiritual energy to improve their physical fitness. The body structures of humans and zombies are different. After applying the leek potion, humans can still use spiritual energy, and they can also get an additional effect. The parts applied with the leek potion can be immune to the influence of suppression force. Therefore, in summary, the 6 level 5 advanced zombies lost control of their spiritual energy immediately after being shot by the green bullets. The spiritual energy cannot be used, and the surrounding Tarzan-type suppression force will disappear in an instant. What's worse, the zombies also found that the overall strength of their bodies was weakened. Their bodies were no longer protected by spiritual energy. In other words, they were now about as threatening as a level 2 zombie. Mawudi and his team, without the restraint of the Tarzan-type suppression force, could fully exert the power of the level 4 new humans. The result of the level 4 new humans versus the level 2 zombies was self-evident. The 6 black horses raised their 12 front feet. The hard iron hooves mercilessly stepped on the zombies' heads, accompanied by the sound of bang bang bang. The 6 level 5 zombies met their fate of death. In this match, Mawudi's side won. Chapter 367. Let's team up with Mawudi. Heartbroken. Three-eyed corpse was very heartbroken. Others didn't know the number of high-level zombies in the Ziyang City gathering place. Three-eyed corpse knew it. There weren't many level 5 zombies, only 7, but now, 6 of them were dead. The remaining level 5 zombie didn't come because he liked to sleep. Not only were almost all the level 5 zombies dead, but even 9/10 of the level 4 zombies died. Only some level 4 zombies wandering around the edge of the gathering place were not attracted by Mawudi and his men, so they survived. However, Mawudi, with only 6 people, almost killed all the high-level zombies in the Ziyang City gathering place. According to the induction, Three-Eyed Corpse found that Mawudi was ambushing 3 other teams in 3 other directions. Since the younger brothers were useless, Three-Eyed Corpse had to go out himself. This was something it never expected. A group of level 4 rabble, actually had to do it itself. Lin Kong also didn't expect that these 6 black knights were so awesome, shooting a few arrows and charging a few times. Most of the level 3 and 4 zombies in the gathering place were killed. Then, another encounter. 6 level 5 zombies were killed in an instant. Such an efficient way of killing monsters. Even Lin Kong felt inferior, and even wanted to ask the group of Black Knights for advice. As for those red and green mysterious potions, Lin Kong also wanted to know who made them. Did the person who made these mysterious potions make more mysterious potions? Lin Kong was full of doubts. At this moment, Lin Kong would never have thought that Ma Wuti was the person sent by the president to kill him, and those mysterious special potions were researched by the president. Old Man Qin beside him and the crowd watching on the roof, watching Ma Wuti and others kill 6 powerful high-level zombies in one encounter, all widened their eyes in shock, with incredible expressions on their faces. How can there be so many awesome humans in this day and age? Previously, Lin Kong, a mere level 1 new human, dared to openly challenge the level 6, three-eyed corpse. In the end, to everyone's surprise, the three-eyed corpse really became Lin Kong's younger brother, and now, Ma Wuti and his group of level 4 humans were about to be eaten by zombies in the last second, but in the next second, they immediately killed the 6 powerful high-level zombies like a weakling. Everything that happened on the street was so unbelievable. However, in terms of the degree of shock, it was still more shocking, more magical and unrealistic that Lin Kong, a level 1, subdued the level 6, three-eyed corpse. Although Ma Wuti and his group defeated the strong with the weak, they killed the powerful level 5 opponent with the strength of level 4. However, Ma Wuti's side was only 1 level behind Lin Kong, while the ruthless Lin Kong was a full 5 levels behind. If you have to describe it, Ma Wuti can be described as super abnormally strong, and Lin Kong's side is super abnormal invincible strong. The onlookers picked up their chins from the ground. They also wiped their eyes, because there is a good show waiting to be appreciated next. These weak onlookers, of course, have to open their eyes and watch carefully. All the onlookers looked up and looked at the location of the luxury hotel. Previously, when the three-eyed corpse took Lin Kong to take a shower, it had already exposed its location. Moreover, the three-eyed corpse is not a cunning human, and it has never hidden its residence. Ma Wuti also turned around, looking over various buildings and shooting straight to the location of the luxury hotel. The reason why he knew the location of the three-eyed corpse was that the rabbit-mouth youth told him. Level 3, level 4, and level 5 zombies are just some appetizers. The real main course is still the three-eyed corpse, at level 6. If the three-eyed corpse doesn't die, everything will be in vain. If the three-eyed corpse dies, the other level 5, level 4, and level 3 zombies are just a mob. The real battle is about to begin. Ma Wuti and the members of the 4th team all tensed up and concentrated their minds. They had never fought against a level 6 zombie before. Can we successfully defeat this guy with 3 eyes? The members of the 4th team were not sure about the success or failure of the upcoming battle. Luxury hotel. In front of the French window, three-eyed corpse said coldly to Lin Kong beside him, "Watch these meteorites for me. I'm going to eat a few people first and come back soon." Turning around, three-eyed corpse, with his eyebrows raised, took a step forward angrily. Read the original text in Liu number 9/. Its broad soles landed on the shapeless air. The surrounding gas also fluctuated. Crash. The windshield on the French window suddenly shattered as three-eyed corpse took a step forward. Fine glass shards fell to the ground. One step, then another. The three-eyed corpse, which had reached the late stage of level 6, could already walk on the air easily. Not only walking, but even running, it could do it easily. Everyone watched the three-eyed corpse, slowly walking in the air, and their hearts tightened. The strongest and most evil zombie in the gathering place, the guy with 3 eyes, the guy who could control humans, it came out. Three-eyed corpse could walk on the air. Can this group of sudden black knights really defeat it? The onlookers' minds have changed. Now, they think that this group of black knights are just some brainless and reckless fools. But, The scene of this group of Black Knights directly killing 6 level 5 zombies is too shocking. Unable to help themselves, the onlookers all hope that this group of Black Knights can create a miracle, and can once again defeat the strong with the weak, and kill the almost invincible, three-eyed corpse. If the three-eyed corpse dies, the humans in the gathering place will be freed from the tragic fate of slavery. The eyes of the onlookers dared not blink at will anymore. The next battle will determine their fate, and no one wants to miss any details. Lin Kong in the luxury hotel is also full of expectations for this battle. Although the three-eyed corpse has surrendered to him, Lin Kong hopes that the three-eyed corpse will be killed. There are many high-level zombies. If the three-eyed corpse dies, Lin Kong can find the next level 6 zombie to trade. Through previous observations, Lin Kong understands that the meteorites he summoned will have a fatal attraction to all zombies. Even if Lin Kong is unlucky and cannot find a level 6 zombie, he can summon more meteorites and then cultivate a high-level zombie. For example, cultivate the Zhuge corpse, whose eyeballs always like to fall off to the level of 6. In the end times, zombies are the least rare. What is rare is people like Mawudi. Lin Kong, who knew this very well, even wanted to help Mawudi deal with the three-eyed corpse, because he thought that if he could team up with Mawudi and his group of righteous Black Knights, then he would have a better chance of winning when dealing with the evil president in the future. Chapter 368, Mawudi vs. Three-Eyed Corpse. The spectators who didn't know the truth could only describe the appearance of the three-eyed corpse walking in the air as awesome, but in Mawudi's opinion, he saw through the truth behind the three-eyed corpse walking in the air at a glance. The truth is, feather-type suppression force. Level 3 mutant zombies have ordinary suppression force, which can make people feel scared and unable to move. Level 5 zombies can strengthen the suppression force into Tarzan-type suppression force, which can increase the weight of objects by hundreds of times. At the level of level 6, the Tarzan-type suppression force will be further strengthened and become a stronger feather-type suppression force. This second strengthened feather-type suppression force can not only make objects lighter, but even make your own body lighter, so as to achieve the effect of walking in the air. Moreover, in terms of attack power, the feather-type suppression force is also stronger than the Tarzan-type suppression force. Three-eyed corpse can directly make you lighter than a feather. Without gravity, you can only watch your body rise and rise. And in the air, there is almost no place to use force. In this way, you will eventually rise to a high altitude with thin oxygen. In the high altitude, there is not only no air, but also very cold. You have neither food nor sufficient oxygen. Even if you are a new human with a strong physique, you will eventually die. Raising people to death in the sky is really the least efficient way of killing by feather-type suppression force. The efficient way of killing three-eyed corpse will soon be revealed. Three-eyed corpse, in the air, was originally walking slowly, but, suddenly, whoosh, the wind blew, and the spiritual power of three-eyed corpse's feet surged, and its body suddenly accelerated. Three-eyed corpse raised his hand, and the surging suppression force in his body burst out like a flood. Buzz 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 tilde. The surrounding air fluctuated violently because of this strong suppression force. The stones on the street all rolled in unison. The flowers and plants on both sides of the street also swayed back and forth. As for the glass, doors and windows of the surrounding houses, they were all shaking. It was as if the end of the world was coming. The onlookers were all terrified by the powerful strength of the three-eyed corpse. But Mawudi and others had already made preparations. They knew that the three-eyed corpse's superpowers could control human actions, so they applied leak potion in their hair early to prevent themselves from being controlled. It was also because of the existence of the leak potion that Mawudi was directly immune to the suppression of the three-eyed corpse. Facing the gradually approaching three-eyed corpse, Mawudi decisively gave the order, covering tactics. Hearing the name of this tactic, all the team members immediately took action. However, before everyone started to fight back, the three-eyed corpse, in the air, suddenly stopped, turned into feathers. With a cold snort from the three-eyed corpse, The surrounding suppression suddenly changed from the ordinary suppression that made creatures feel fear to the feather-type suppression that made objects lighter. The rocks that were originally lying on the ground and shaking, floated up directly as the pressure changed. The green grass leaves on both sides of the street, the water droplets condensed at night, and the small wooden sticks all floated up into the air, including the 6 corpses of level 5 zombies. They also floated up into the air uncontrollably and slowly. The onlookers were worried that they would be affected, so they were far away. However, when they saw the method of the three-eyed zombie, they still screamed fiercely. "Oh my God, what kind of magical method is this? It can actually make people float up." "Stay further away. Let's stay further away." "Yes, yes. This place is too unsafe." The methods of the level 6 zombies are indeed extraordinary. I have seen this three-eyed zombie crawl out of someone's stomach before. This is too scary. It actually crawled out of the stomach. Fortunately, we didn't resist before, otherwise we wouldn't know how we died. The onlookers ran farther away in a mess, sighing with mixed feelings. Although other things on the street floated up, Mawudi and his men did not. The president, who was proficient in the research of zombie abilities, naturally understood the effect of feather-type suppression force. The green leak potion that was researched could also be immune to the effect of feather-type suppression force. Mawudi applied it to himself, and did not forget to apply the leak potion to the black horse under his seat. As a result, Mawudi and his men and their mounts were not affected at all. The original text is available at LU number 9/. They can still attack normally. First, Mawudi and his men pulled the trigger repeatedly and shot at the three-eyed corpse with a pistol. Bang 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 bang. One shot after another, the red flames flickered at the muzzle, and the sound of bullets coming out of the gun was continuous. Bows and arrows can never be as convenient as modern weapons. The reason why Mawudi and his men used bows and arrows before was purely to make the zombies think that their weapons were only bows and arrows, so as to reduce the zombies' vigilance. But now, the three-eyed corpse has discovered that they have a pistol from a distance, so naturally they will not be fooled. There were no other high-level zombies around, therefore, Mawudi and his 6 men all pointed their guns at the three-eyed corpse, and all the bullets were fired at the three-eyed corpse's body from all directions. These bullets all glowed green, and had the effect of sealing spiritual energy. Therefore, it was not necessary to shoot at the three-eyed corpse's head. As long as it hit any part of the three-eyed corpse's body, it would immediately turn the three-eyed corpse into a waste zombie. What feather-type suppression force, what walking in the air, what superpowers to control humans, would all be ineffective. 6 guns were fired at the three-eyed corpse at the same time, and it would only take 1 shot to hit it. But none of them hit it. The three-eyed corpse, in the air, moved its legs and dodged for a while, and actually dodged all the bullets shot from the front. Dodge bullets. This is too fierce, as expected of a level 6 zombie. It's so scary, the onlookers exclaimed, thinking that they only needed to shoot the three-eyed zombie once. Unexpectedly, the level 6, three-eyed zombie, was already strong enough to dodge bullets head-on. Although the bullets were fast, the three-eyed zombie, with 3 eyes, was even faster. After a round of shooting, with the sound of clicks, Mawudi and the other 6 found that the bullets in the pistols had been completely fired. It was time to change the magazine. Seeing this, the three-eyed zombie smiled. Normal soldiers need 3 or 4 seconds to change the magazine of their pistols. Although Mawudi and the others were level 4 new humans and their bodies were much stronger, they still needed 1 or 2 seconds to change the magazine. And the three-eyed zombie rushed down from the air, approached and killed Mawudi and the others in just half a second. After the bullets were fired, Mawudi and the others decisively reached for their magazines from their waists. The three-eyed corpse also seized the opportunity and rushed forward, ready to kill the hateful Black Knights. Seeing the lightning speed of the three-eyed corpse, everyone was nervous and worried about the lives of Mawudi and others. However, Lin Kong, who was standing in front of the French window of the luxury hotel, also smiled. Zombies are really simple-minded. Even if the three-eyed corpse has evolved to the 6th level, it still easily fell into the trap of humans. Everyone thought that Ma Wuti and others were in a life-and-death crisis, but only Lin Kong saw it clearly. Ma Wuti was not in danger of his life, but the simple-minded, three-eyed corpse stepped into the death trap. Chapter 369. The Three-Eyed Corpse in Trouble. There is a kind of common sense in shooting, called taking turns to shoot. Even if there are only 2 people in a team, they will always pay attention to the number of bullets in the gun. Their shooting principle is that they will never empty the magazine at the same time, because once the magazine is emptied at the same time, if 2 people change bullets at the same time, the enemy is likely to take the opportunity to rush up. Generally, when you want to empty the magazine, you will inform your teammates in advance. Then, one person changes the magazine, and the other person slows down the shooting speed and waits for the teammate to change the magazine. After the teammate has changed the magazine, the other person dares to shoot the bullets in the gun, and then change the magazine. This is taking turns to shoot where the bullets will not stop. Such a simple common-sense behavior. How could Ma Wuti, who leads a team of 20 people, not know it? If he knew it, why did he let the team members empty the magazine at the same time? The reason is very simple, and it is the same strategy used when fighting level 5 zombies before, that is, sell a flaw, deliberately reveal a flaw to lure the three-eyed zombie to attack, greatly reducing its vigilance. Swoosh, the figure of the three-eyed corpse left a trail of after-images in the air. Just as Ma Wuti had expected, the three-eyed corpse had indeed fallen into the trap. At this moment, Ma Wuti's hand, which was originally reaching for the magazine from his waist, suddenly accelerated. Then, it passed over his waist and reached directly for the bag on the horse's back. Ma Wuti's target was of course not the magazine. Changing the magazine at this moment was no different from committing suicide. His target was exactly the miniature automatic submachine gun in the bag on the horse's back. The firing rate of a pistol is at most 1 round per second. The firing rate of a submachine gun is at least 10 rounds per second. A pistol fires 1 bullet when the trigger is pulled. An automatic submachine gun, when the trigger is held down, the bullet will shoot out like a stream of water. The difference in power between the two is simply a world of difference. They are all using modern weapons, so who would use a pistol in a fight? As an elite force, Ma Wuti and his men would of course be equipped with automatic submachine guns. So why did they keep using pistols just now? Of course, it was also to confuse the three-eyed corpse. It was the same strategy as when we used bows and arrows to confuse the level 5 zombies. There was nothing we could do, because the zombies were so simple-minded. This showing weakness strategy worked every time. Seeing Ma Wuti and his 6 men take out their automatic submachine guns, the three-eyed corpse's pupils immediately contracted violently. It realized that it had been tricked. Damn, these humans are too insidious. Without hesitation, Ma Wuti pointed the dark muzzle of the submachine gun at the three-eyed corpse that was rushing over from the front. These miniature automatic submachine guns had already opened their safety. The team members only needed to pull the trigger, and the bullets would pour out. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. A large area of dense bullets, like a finely woven fishing net, quickly enveloped the three-eyed corpse. The pistol had few bullets, and the three-eyed corpse could still dodge with its amazing body skills. However, the submachine gun fired 10 bullets per second. 6 submachine guns, 60 rounds per second. With so many bullets, how can three-eyed corpse hide? It can't hide at all. The bullets of these submachine guns are also flashing green light. Obviously, as long as one bullet hits three-eyed corpse, the aura of the three-eyed corpse will be sealed. Once the aura is sealed, three-eyed corpse will be closed to death. Don't be shot. Three-eyed corpse's mind moved, and the aura began to circulate frantically, and the feather-type suppression force emanating from its body also immediately increased its effect. The surrounding stones originally floated slowly from the ground to the air. However, when three-eyed corpse increased the effective feather-type suppression force, those floating stones suddenly increased their speed and flew into the air at high speed. Not only the stones, but also those floating zombie bodies, also flew into the sky at high speed. The closer to three-eyed corpse the more obvious the effect of feather-type suppression force is. Crack, crack, crack. The ground directly below the three-eyed corpse cracked rapidly, and then with a bang, a large piece of concrete broke away from the ground. Then, it rose up at high speed. Finally, under the control of the three-eyed corpse's mind, this large piece of concrete directly blocked the body. Bang, 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 bang. The bullets from the submachine gun all hit the concrete. It doesn't matter if there are a lot of bullets, they still can't penetrate the wall. With the protection of the concrete, the three-eyed corpse retreated rapidly and safely left this dangerous area. Mawudi thought he could take down the three-eyed corpse in one fell swoop, but he didn't expect that the three-eyed corpse had already reached such a proficient level in the use of feather-type suppression force. It actually escaped. However, Mawudi was not frustrated. Read the original text at LU number 9/. When the three-eyed corpse was fleeing rapidly, he and his team members started the second round of attack, throwing grenades. One by one, the grenades drew beautiful arcs in the air and landed around the three-eyed corpse. These grenades were specially made, and they also added the ingredients of leak potion. Once the body of the three-eyed corpse was hit by the fragments of the grenades, the three-eyed corpse would be immediately disabled. Moreover, the explosion timing of these grenades has also been modified, and it does not take as long as 2 or 3 seconds. Those grenades had not yet landed, just flying in the air, and suddenly exploded. Mawudi and the members of the fourth team had many practical experiences in fighting zombies. Even if Mawudi did not say anything, they also knew how to take out grenades to blow up the three-eyed corpse. So, a full 6 green grenades exploded around the three-eyed corpse at the same time. Grenades are not bullets, their range is very large. Moreover, the 6 grenades thrown by Mawudi and the other 6 people have already blocked the direction of the three-eyed corpse's escape. The three-eyed corpse is fast, but no matter how fast it is, it can't be faster than the speed of the grenade explosion. It looked like it had nowhere to escape. In addition, the position of the three-eyed corpse was a little too high. If it continued to use the method just now to make the concrete on the ground fly up for defense, it would be too late. In other words, the three-eyed corpse had no chance of escaping. At this moment, its eyes were full of anger. After the pistol was used up, it took out the submachine gun. After the submachine gun was used up, it threw grenades. Damn, these humans are so hateful, so insidious. The three-eyed corpse, which has always been invincible, regards humans as ants. It drives humans at will, and even keeps humans in a football field, letting humans kill each other in it for fun. I thought that humans were all weak chickens and waste. Zombies are the most advanced creatures in the world. But I didn't expect that I would eat 2 meals of feces today. 1 meal of feces was stuffed into me by this guy Lin Kong. A mere weak chicken new human at level 1 actually wanted to ride on my head and let me be his follower. But, for the sake of the meteorite, he endured it. Unexpectedly, after eating the first meal of shit, less than a few hours later, someone stuffed a meal of shit into his mouth. This group of hateful black-clothed humans actually put him in such a desperate situation. Unforgivable. I will definitely eat you. Three-eyed corpse burst out with all its strength. The repressive force gushed out of its body, and the power was running at maximum. Boom. The surging repressive force made the surrounding air tremble. At the same time, a blazing light appeared in the eyes of three-eyed corpse. As a level 6 zombie, I will never fall into the hands of a group of level 4 waste humans. Chapter 370, Ways to Escape. Although, the furious and frustrated, three-eyed corpse circulated the spiritual energy in its body to the maximum speed, and also pushed the surrounding suppression force to the maximum limit. However, it was useless. It still could not escape the explosive attack of the 6 grenades. Although, three-eyed corpse can walk in the air, it does not control the power of space at all. It just uses the feather-type suppression force to make itself lighter. Even if it runs the suppression force to the maximum effect, the 6 grenades around it will not be bounced off. The grenade is still around. The grenade still exploded. A strong shock wave rushed out from the inside of the grenade, There are many tiny steel balls hidden in the grenade. Each steel ball carries the leak potion that can make the zombies' spiritual energy ineffective. There are at least hundreds of thousands of those steel balls. They are overwhelming and cover all directions, like a sky prison and a net. Everything around, three-eyed corpse, is completely covered. As long as it is hit by a small steel ball, the spiritual energy of the three-eyed corpse will be sealed, and it will never have the chance to eat Mawuni and others. The three-eyed corpse also knows this. Previously, the 6 level 5 zombies had an absolute advantage, but because they were shot by a strange green bullet, they immediately lost their combat effectiveness. In an instant, they were trampled to death by the black war horses of Mawuni and others. It must not be shot by the green small steel ball. The three-eyed corpse fully circulated the spiritual energy in its body. It felt that it still had a glimmer of life. The surging suppression force, like a gust of wind, enveloped all the small steel balls that came from all over the sky. After being affected by the feather-type suppression force, the small steel balls violated the gravity of the earth and turned to the direction of the sky. However, even though all the small steel balls were subjected to an upward force, but their movement trajectory only changed from straight to flying diagonally upward, the body of the three-eyed corpse was still within the attack range of these small steel balls. There was no way. There were too many small steel balls. Like a huge wave, it rushed towards the three-eyed corpse. Even if the wave rushed upward diagonally, it would still affect the body of the three-eyed corpse. Seeing this scene, Mawudi and others not far away also clenched their fists, expecting those small steel balls to hit the body of the three-eyed corpse. The onlookers also had their hearts in their throats. Once the three-eyed corpse was hit by the small steel balls exploded from the grenade, they could cheer for it. Only Lin Kong, who was in a luxury hotel, did not relax his vigilance. He felt that the situation at the moment was not too optimistic. The three-eyed corpse had once drilled out of his stomach, and its abilities should be more than that. As a level 6 zombie, Lin Kong felt that the three-eyed corpse would not be defeated. Level 6. Wait, Lin Kong seemed to have discovered something. After grasping the keyword level 6 inches, Lin Kong quickly came up with a solution to the current predicament of the three-eyed corpse. Looking intently, Lin Kong saw the three-eyed corpse in the air. Sure enough, the method this guy was using to escape was the method that Lin Kong just thought of in an instant, changing the type of suppression force. As a powerful level 6 zombie, the three-eyed corpse naturally also has the Taishan type suppression force of a level 5 zombie. When it was surrounded by tens of thousands of small steel balls that exploded from grenades, the situation that was originally doomed to die, but it hid a glimmer of hope. The first step was to fully activate the feather-type suppression force and let the surrounding small steel balls fly up diagonally. The second step was to instantly convert the feather-type suppression force into the Taishan-type suppression force. The three-eyed corpse had reached the late stage of level 6, and for this kind of suppression force conversion, it was really a piece of cake. With a thought, the suppression force in the body changed from feather-type to Taishan-type. However, a detail worth mentioning is that the three-eyed corpse only let this Taishan-type suppression force act on its own body. It did not change the trajectory of the surrounding small steel balls again. With a Taishan-type suppression force falling downward, the three-eyed corpse turned around again and stepped hard into the void. Two powerful forces pushed the three-eyed corpse's body, like a rocket, and shot towards the ground at super high speed. Then, the final result was that the surrounding small steel balls, because of the upward feather-type suppression force, could not help but fly upward diagonally. And the three-eyed corpse, with the help of the Taishan-type suppression force, rushed down with all its strength. The original text is available at Liu number 9 at book/bar. In a dangerous place, the three-eyed corpse successfully avoided all the small steel balls. It's a long story. In fact, from the explosion of the grenade to the three-eyed corpse converting the suppression force to escape, this whole process all happened within a short half-second. The three-eyed corpse plunged headfirst into the dirt on the ground. 6 grenades exploded in the air. At this time, swoosh, 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 many more grenades flew towards the three-eyed corpse. However, Mawudi would never have such a good attack opportunity again. After escaping the first wave of grenade explosions, the three-eyed corpse immediately retreated several hundred meters. Therefore, the second wave of grenades thrown by Mawudi and others could only explode the air. The three-eyed corpse, who flew far away, couldn't help but raise his hand and wipe the cold sweat from his forehead. He was still frightened in his heart. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise I would be gone. At this moment, the three-eyed corpse, who was as high as level 6, no longer dared to underestimate the group of black knights who were only level 4. Even when flying, the three-eyed corpse didn't dare to fly too high. Flying lower would make it easier to control objects on the ground and defend against various insidious means of humans. After being separated by hundreds of meters, the three-eyed corpse dared to shout at Mawudi and others in a proud tone, "Humans, you have earned my respect. After you die, I will eat your body, including the unpalatable bones, into my stomach. Don't worry, I will never waste anything." In the eyes of the three-eyed corpse, eating the opponent cleanly is the greatest respect for it. Mawudi looked at the three-eyed corpse, who only dared to shout from a distance, and he secretly cried out in his heart, "They have lost the best chance to win." When the three-eyed corpse does not take Mawudi and others seriously, it is the best time for Mawudi and others to kill the three-eyed corpse in one fell swoop. But now, the three-eyed corpse has become fully alert. It will not fall into Mawudi's trap easily. Once it no longer despises the opponent psychologically, the three-eyed corpse, who is 2 levels higher than Mawudi and others, will have many ways to win. For example, wear out the opponent. As a zombie, three-eyed corpse has almost endless spiritual energy and physical strength. Although Mawudi and others are cunning, they still have human physique. As long as they are human, there will be times when their spiritual energy is exhausted and they will be mentally exhausted. Three-eyed corpse has a simple mindset. It dares not get close to Mawudi, fearing that these insidious humans will take out some strange things again. But it can't think of a good way. So, three-eyed corpse decided to exhaust this group of humans. So, what means will it use to exhaust its opponents with limited physical strength? Three-eyed corpse looked at the surrounding buildings, and its eyes suddenly lit up. Chapter 371, The Tactic of Pretending to be Dead failed. According to observation, the strange green potion in the hands of this group of humans can make the aura of zombies' physical strength ineffective, and humans who have applied the green potion will no longer be affected by the zombies' superpowers. In other words, the superpowers of the three-eyed corpse have no effect on Mawudi and others. And during the battle, the three-eyed corpse has to be on guard against Mawudi getting the green potion into his body. Although the strange green potion is very effective, however, when it is applied to inanimate objects, it will not play any role. For example, the small steel balls that exploded from the grenade just now. Although the green potion is added to those small steel balls, the three-eyed corpse can still use the feather-type suppression force to affect the trick of the small steel balls, so that the small steel balls fly up diagonally. Therefore, from this point of view, the three-eyed corpse thought of the surrounding buildings. Although his suppression force cannot affect Mawudi and others, it can affect inanimate houses, stones, and water tanks. The strange green potion that Mawudi had applied to his body could only make him immune to the effects of superpowers, but it could not make him immune to attacks from normal objects such as houses, stones, and floods. Humans, your death has come. The three-eyed corpse, who had come up with a solution, was naturally very happy. It habitually announced the death sentence of Mawudi and others, and then began to really take action. Buzz 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 tilde. The air around him began to fluctuate violently. The surging repressive force swept all the objects around him like a strong wind. All the stones, land, trees, and houses became as light as feathers. No, to be precise, they were lighter than feathers. They simply became weights. They no longer stayed on the ground, but flew towards the sky. With the three-eyed corpse as the center, a circle with a diameter of 100 meters was formed. Everything in this circle flew up. Fortunately, there was no one in these flying houses. Because of the noise caused by the fight between Mawudi and others, All people with normal brains hid far away. In the flying room, there was a two-story small building. When the small building floated up, the wires around it were all torn off, and crackling sparks burst out from the joints. In the hall of the small building, there was a table. On the table, there was a cup of steaming milk. As the room shook, the cup of milk slowly moved to the edge of the table. Then, it slid off the edge. However, the cup did not smash on the floor with a bang. The cup did not fall down at all. It also lost gravity and floated up with the small building. The milk of the right temperature lay safely in the cup, and white-hot steam still came out. It was waiting for its owner to come home so that it could warm its owner's empty stomach. But, the wish of this cup of milk was going to be in vain. Before it rose for long, it felt a particularly strong force pressing on it. This force is the Type suppression force of the three-eyed corpse. Objects within a radius of 100 meters no longer continue to rise into the air. After flying for a while, they fell directly on the heads of Mawuti and others. The small building happened to be the first weapon shot at Mawuti. Inside the small building, the cup on the table cracked directly because of this tyrannical force. Milk flowed out of the gap in the cup, but it did not flow down along the gap in the cup, because it was falling at high speed with the small building. Bang! With a loud bang, the small building fell to the ground. The table in the small building was also crushed. The cup and milk could no longer wait for their owners. In fact, the first small building that fell did not hit Mawuti and others, who had a fast and silent black horse. Before the small building fell, the team members had already run away in time. Seeing that the first small building had no effect, the three-eyed corpse did not feel surprised. Its superpower is not to control houses, so it is impossible to accurately hit the level 4 new human riding a horse. Three-eyed corpse, thought, and more feather-type suppression force was converted into Type suppression force. So, more buildings and hard concrete blocks were smashed towards the fleeing Mawuti one after another. As the saying goes, to catch a thief, you must first catch the leader. Three-eyed corpse, although there are no messy conspiracies and tricks, it still understands the principle of hitting the snake at its weakest point and catching a thief first. Needless to say, this Mawuti must be the boss. Three-eyed corpse then wanted to smash Mawuti to death first, and it didn't matter if the other human knights escaped. Mawuti looked at the large buildings flying towards him, and immediately shouted to the team members beside him, "Don't stay with me, quickly disperse and escape." Captain ... Yes. The team members hesitated for only half a second, and immediately and decisively abandoned Mawuti and fled in different directions. The situation was critical, and the team members could only obey Mawuti's orders unconditionally. Mawuti rode his horse and ran away in the east direction. He looked very anxious. He was thinking about the strategy to deal with the three-eyed corpse, but he couldn't think of it. Not only could he not think of a plan to defeat the three-eyed corpse, but Mawuti couldn't even resolve the crisis that followed. Although he was a level 4 new human, when a small building fell down, he would lose half his life. Moreover, as long as he was hit, the three-eyed corpse would definitely control more buildings to fall down. At that time, Mawuti would be dead for sure. He must not be hit. Mawuti ran forward along the serpentine route while racking his brains to think quickly. At this time, there was a strong sound of wind behind him. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Looking back, I saw a dozen small buildings, carrying the huge momentum of Mount Tai pressing down on the top, roaring and falling down. Oops, I can't escape. Mawuti's face changed. The dozen or so small buildings that came crashing down at the same time were like a huge palm of the Tathagata Buddha, falling from the sky. The original text is available at Liu number 9 at /bar. Even if Mawuti, the monkey, rode a horse, he could not escape from this huge attack range. No matter which direction he came from, he would be hit by one of the houses. Team leader, run away. The anxious shouts of the team members came from the headset. Mawuti slapped the horse's buttocks with the back of his knife, and the black warhorse under his crotch also increased its speed to the limit. However, the small building behind him was already within reach. The huge shadow had already covered the road ahead of Mawuti. Alas, He could not run away at all. Mawuti felt deeply helpless, although he had previously relied on the human IQ advantage and used some small tricks to gain the upper hand. However, at this time, facing the houses that fell from the sky, Mawuti finally understood the horror of the level 6 zombies, level 6 versus level 4. The gap in strength between the two is really too big. If Mawuti was not level 4, but a level 6 new human, even if he stood still, the falling buildings would not be able to hurt him. However, Mawuti was only level 4. His physical fitness was not enough to resist the attack of the buildings falling from the sky. There was no other way. The second before being hit, the only thing Mawuti could do was to hand over his command. After I die, you all listen to Mule. Mule was the most intelligent and capable person among the many team members. Only when he was handed over to command the rest of the team members, Mawuti could die with peace of mind. Bang, bang, bang. A dozen small buildings fell at the same time. The earth shook violently. Even people a few miles away could feel the slight vibration. The sound of the collision of the dozen small buildings was similar to the noise made by the meteorite summoned by Lin Kong before. Team leader. The team members in the distance exclaimed loudly. They saw with their own eyes the scene of Mawuti being hit by the small buildings, but they were powerless. Someone rushed towards the three-eyed corpse, in the air with red eyes. Come back here. Do you want the team leader to die in vain? The Black Knight codenamed Mule shouted sternly. The man was unmoved when he heard the first half of Mule. However, when Mule said the second half, the team member with red eyes gritted his teeth and stopped. He regained his sanity. Yes, we can't let the team leader Mawuti die in vain. Although angry, his life has a greater use. Seeing that this team member did not die, Mule breathed a sigh of relief. At the same time, he analyzed very calmly. Next, this three-eyed corpse will attack the team leader. Let's take advantage of this and quickly disperse. Whoever can run is one, and then gather at location T. As a professional zombie killing team, they naturally have a response plan after they disperse. The so-called location T is the place where everyone gathers after the dispersion. As the second smartest person in the team, the Mule could naturally roughly guess the next move of the three-eyed corpse. There is no doubt that the three-eyed corpse will definitely make up the blow. The recovery rate of the new humans at level 4 is strong. A small building can only seriously injure Mawuti, and it is not a fatal blow. The Mule knows this, and the three-eyed corpse also knows this. Although Mawuti should still have a chance of survival if he goes to rescue him now, he can't die. Therefore, the Mule will choose to order everyone to take the opportunity to escape. Everyone also knows that Mawuti is probably not dead yet, but in the end they can only obey the Mule's order and gallop away. When many team members fled in all directions, the three-eyed corpse really controlled more houses and stone pillars to smash them towards Mawuti. Those stray hairs can be dealt with later. Now, it decided to smash Mawuti, the leader, into a pulp first. The other three teams that had been quietly ambushing in three directions of the gathering place also fled without success. Originally, Mawuti intended to use the three teams as a hidden trump card. However, he did not expect that the three-eyed corpse flew too far. Moreover, the three-eyed corpse never entered the attack range of the three teams. It was as if the three-eyed corpse had already discovered the existence of the three teams. Therefore, the three teams that were originally intended to be trump cards to surprise the enemy became useless waste cards. In the end, they could only flee in panic. Although Mawuti was hit by the building, the three-eyed corpse still did not approach without permission. If he approached, it would give the insidious humans an opportunity to take advantage of him. Once he was contaminated by the strange green solution, he would be finished. As long as he did not approach, I would be invincible. The three-eyed corpse started to attack Mawuti from a distance. When the second round of buildings was about to fall, a black figure rushed out from the ruins. Lin Kong, who was in the luxury hotel, took a closer look and found that this black figure was Mawuti. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel. Mundo fanfic novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 372. I think you are a talented person. What would you do when you are facing a house falling from the sky and you can't avoid it? Since you can't avoid it, there are only two options left. Option 1. Take a cigarette out of your pocket and light it. Then, take a deep puff. Then, look up at the moon at a 45-degree angle. Finally, gently exhale a puff of smoke. While admiring the misty smoke under the moonlight, quietly wait for death to come. However, unfortunately, Mawudi only has a spare dagger in his pocket, and no cigarettes at all. He can't wait to die handsomely, so, he can only choose the second option, to reduce the damage to himself as much as possible. Now, Mawudi has a Desert Eagle pistol, an MP5 submachine gun, several daggers, several grenades, and a black horse. So, how can he minimize the damage? Mawudi touched the black horse under his seat, and his eyes showed reluctance. Pistols and submachine guns can only kill enemies. When the house fell from the sky, Mawudi could only rely on the war horse that had been following him in the battle. He turned over and dismounted, and quickly hid under the belly of the black horse. The detail worth noting is that this dismounting action was made at the last moment. The advantage of doing so is that the three-eyed corpse cannot see his actions. At that time, Mawudi thought like this: if the three-eyed corpse saw it, it would definitely think that I was still alive, so it would not approach me, and if it did not approach me, I would not be able to kill it. Yes, even in the face of the life and death crisis of being crushed to death by the house, Mawudi was still trying to kill the three-eyed corpse. Even though the three teams ambushed around the gathering place did not play the role they should have, Mawudi was not discouraged. He still calmly thought out the best survival strategy and counterattack strategy. Once he survived under the protection of the black horse, then he could take the opportunity to counterattack the three-eyed corpse. As long as a small steel ball in the grenade hits the body of the three-eyed corpse, the three-eyed corpse will be directly disabled. Mawudi held his head and secretly prayed for the blessing of Guanyin Bodhisattva. The building fell down. Mawudi was delighted to find that the black horse above offset most of the impact. Mawudi, hiding under the belly of the black horse, only had one leg broken and a dozen ribs. For ordinary people, this kind of injury is very serious. But for a level 4 new human, it is just a minor injury. Although his head was buzzing, he still maintained a clear consciousness. Mawudi decisively grasped the grenade. He closed his eyes, and quietly felt the changes around him. Fortunately, the headphones and headsets were not damaged. Mawudi could hear the conversation of the team members through the headphones. He tried to speak with the headset, and the team members responded with joy. There was no time to celebrate for escaping a disaster. Mawudi made a prompt decision and ordered, "You continue to pretend to run away and don't show any flaws. Mule, you are responsible for secretly observing the three-eyed corpse, and reporting its actions to me. I am going to kill it." Yes, Mule, who had just become the team leader and was immediately made a member of the team, was very excited when he heard Mawudi's idea. The team leader is the team leader, bold and careful, awesome. When others were seriously injured, they would probably only think about how to escape, but Mawudi was uncharacteristically thinking about killing the three-eyed corpse. The key is that the success rate of this idea is still very high. As long as the three-eyed corpse gets close, throw a grenade. The three-eyed corpse will be useless. The three-eyed corpse, whose aura was sealed, can only be slaughtered in the end. Mawudi originally wanted to use the plain dead tactic to kill the three-eyed corpse, who came to check. However, he really didn't expect that the three-eyed corpse didn't come close. It stood far away and launched a second wave of attacks. When Mawudi heard the mule say run, he was really surprised. Mawudi felt that he had miscalculated. He didn't expect that this level 6, three-eyed corpse, would be so cowardly. He was so arrogant when he spoke, but he didn't dare to get close to a level 4 new human being who was hit by a building. There was no way. Since the three-eyed corpse refused to come, Mawudi could only rush out of the ruins and start to run for his life. Because if he didn't run out of the ruins, he would definitely be crushed by the next heavy object. However, after running out, Mawudi found that his broken leg seriously slowed down his speed. This time, he still couldn't get away from the bombardment of the building. Damn. Read the original text in Liu number 9/. This time he was really finished. Looking up, Mawudi's eyes were full of despair. Last time, he had the black horse who had fought with him to protect him. This time, there was no one around him to help him. With the protection of the black horse, Mawudi was hit and had a concussion, more than a dozen broken ribs, and a leg was disabled. Now, without the protection of the black horse, Mawudi, who was already injured, had no chance of survival. Just when Mawudi was desperate, Lin Kong, who was in the luxury hotel, showed an admiring expression. "I think you are a talent. So, survive." The luxury hotel and Mawudi were separated by hundreds of meters. With such a long distance, Mawudi could not hear Lin Kong's muttering. As soon as Lin Kong finished speaking, the building controlled by the three-eyed corpse happened to hit Mawudi. Boom. There was a loud noise. The building hit Mawudi without any surprise. No. Team leader, the mule in the dark in the distance, watching Mawudi, who had finally escaped from the ruins, being hit by a building again, he could only let out a helpless and painful cry. The other 19 team members were also instantly shrouded in a gray haze. Mawudi finally escaped from death, but before they could be happy for a minute, the team leader was about to be killed by a building again. This change was full of twists and turns, ups and downs. Everyone's heart fell in rows, up and down, and they were about to have a heart attack. The onlookers who didn't know the truth in the distance were even more confused. They didn't know why Mawudi was hit by a building, but he could still escape from the ruins. Unfortunately, after escaping with great difficulty, he was bombarded by the building of the three-eyed corpse. Originally thought that this group of black knights would be the heroes who saved themselves, but unexpectedly, this group of people galloped on horseback, fleeing in different directions. Moreover, how could the number of black knights who escaped suddenly change from 5 to 15? The crowd who didn't know the truth was confused. They didn't know the real situation, but they understood one thing. Sure enough, in front of the level 6 zombies, these level 4 new humans could not become heroes to save the gathering place. Everyone thought that Mawudi and others had been defeated, but only Lin Kong looked calm, because he knew that Mawudi was not dead. He also knew that Mawudi would not die, and would kill the level 6, three-eyed corpse, by leaps and bounds. Perhaps, relying solely on the strength of Mawudi and others, it would be impossible to defeat the three-eyed corpse. But Lin Kong had just decided to help Mawudi. With Lin Kong's help, dealing with a brainless, three-eyed corpse is just a piece of cake. Mawudi, who was just about to pretend to be dead as much as possible, got Lin Kong's help. Chapter 373. Oops, I sprained my ankle. On a night with dark tides, under the bright moonlight. Do you have 2 questions? Question 1. Why did Lin Kong help Mawudi? Question 2. Mawudi has been hit by a building. How can Lin Kong help him escape from death? Don't panic, let me explain one by one. First of all, question 1. Why did Lin Kong help Mawudi? Because Lin Kong didn't know that he had been monitored by the pink-coated cannon man before. He didn't know that the president had sent Mawudi and others to kill him, and of course he didn't know that the president had personally come out. At present, Lin Kong still thought that the president didn't know his existence at all. There is a huge information gap between Lin Kong and the president. On Lin Kong's side, his teammates are all third-rate new humans who are not good at fighting. On the president's side, there are many people, not only with rich combat experience, but also all kinds of strange props, special potions, and a lot of them. In general, whether it is intelligence, or other aspects such as number of people, strength, and equipment, the president is completely better than Lin Kong. It was precisely because Lin Kong had too little information that he had the idea of subduing Mawudi. He knew that the president's power was huge, so he had to expand his power as much as possible. And Mawudi just met the talent that Lin Kong wanted. Why is Mawudi a talent? First, Mawudi's behavior of shouting on the office building seemed arrogant, but in fact he was meticulous. Later, In the battle with 6 level 5 zombies, Mawuti's meticulous character was also confirmed. Second, the strange props in Mawuti's hand really made Lin Kong feel deeply curious. He wanted to know which guy's masterpiece those red and green magical potions came from. Although the first and second points have successfully made Lin Kong feel good about Mawuti, but this is not enough for Lin Kong to risk being killed by the three-eyed corpse to help Mawuti. In the end, what made Lin Kong make up his mind was the figure of Mawuti escaping from the ruins. He had been observing Mawuti's movements, and the forest pterosaur had been lurking in the surrounding grass, observing Mawuti's every move. Others could not see Mawuti's movements, but Lin Kong could see them clearly. He found that when Mawuti was facing a great crisis of death, he could calmly come up with a way to escape death through the protection of the black horse. This calm mind made Lin Kong love talents. More importantly, Lin Kong found that Mawuti did not escape immediately. Instead, he was waiting for the opportunity in the ruins. In the face of this crisis, he still had the ambition to counterattack, which made Lin Kong very happy. Talent. Absolute talent. Now, Lin Kong made up his mind. He must save Mawuti and then subdue him. With Mawuti's help, his chances of winning against the president will increase a few points. Since he had made up his mind, Lin Kong no longer hesitated, and he decisively began to think. First of all, what Lin Kong had to solve was how to let Mawuti block the second wave of bombardment of the building by the three-eyed corpse. Mawuti was only a level 4 new human, and he couldn't block it at all. Since he couldn't block it, he could only bear it. Soon, Lin Kong turned his thoughts to how to protect Mawuti's life. It might be difficult to block the building falling from the sky, but if you want to protect Mawuti, it would be much simpler. Lin Kong happened to have 2 dinosaurs who were very good at protection. One was a Triceratops, whose dinosaur possession could not only greatly improve the defense of the possessed person, but also improve all aspects of the body. It can be called an all-round defensive dinosaur. The other one was a 7 black ball that had not yet taken shape and only had a head. The material of this 7 black ball was similar to jelly. Not only could it launch 7 black freeze that could freeze the enemy, it could also use its special physique to dissolve a lot of impact. Should I choose a Triceratops or a 7 black ball? The Triceratops was too big to hide. If it was seen by the three-eyed corpse, it might rush over and eat Lin Kong first in anger. So, to be on the safe side, Lin Kong decided to choose the larger 7 black ball. Yes, compared to the Triceratops, which was about 1.5 meters tall, the 7 black ball was bigger and taller. The 7 black ball was now almost a sphere with a diameter of 2 meters. Since the 7 black ball was bigger than the Triceratops, why did Lin Kong ask the 7 black ball to help Mawuti? Because the 7 black ball could be transformed at will. The Triceratops could not be transformed at will. It would only turn into a liquid dragon armor state when it activated the dinosaur possession. Under normal circumstances, it could only run away without any disguise. Although the 7 black ball was bigger in size, it could become thicker or thinner as it wanted. The size was as you wished and controlled at will. The original text can be read in Liu number 9 / don't be too happy. So, under Lin Kong's instruction, the 7 black balls quietly became very flat, and then drilled into the sewer entrance. Compared with rural areas, cities have a very obvious sign, that is, there are a lot of sewers. Under the ground are various sewage pipes. After the 7 black balls entered the sewer, under the guidance of the forest pterosaur, they quickly came to the position directly below Mawuti. The 7 black balls have been promoted to the level 3, and breaking the ground is not a difficult task for them. It turned its body into the shape of a screw and then rotated. Like a high-powered spiral drill, the 7 black balls came to the side of Mawuti smoothly. Then, they waited quietly. Half a second before the second wave of buildings fell, the 7 black balls jumped out and turned directly into a circular black fortress to protect Mawuti. The reason why Lin Kong let the 7 black balls rush out at the last critical moment was to prevent the three-eyed corpse from discovering it. Turning his head, Lin Kong looked at the three-eyed corpse. The three-eyed corpse was moving a new wave of buildings. Lin Kong felt a little relieved. Very good, This three-eyed guy didn't find my 7 black balls. After the second wave of buildings hit Mawudi, the three-eyed corpse did not let down its guard. Just now, that abominable human suddenly ran out of the ruins. Who knows if that guy is really dead or pretending to be dead? The three-eyed corpse was scared by the cunning human. Now even if Mawudi's body is placed in front of it, it probably won't get close to Mawudi. The three-eyed corpse let the third wave of buildings rise into the air. It planned in its mind, no matter whether that abominable human is dead or alive, I will continue to smash it. When the third wave of buildings floated above Mawudi's position, the three-eyed corpse had an idea. The surrounding air fluctuated violently. Buzz. The suppression force instantly changed from feather type to Taishan type. Those buildings, which were originally lighter than feathers, were suddenly subjected to a force of tens of millions of tons. One after another, the buildings slammed into the ground. Boom, 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 accompanied by the sound of vibrations. The onlookers who did not know the truth thought that Mawudi was doomed. Only Lin Kong knew that with the protection of the 7 black balls, Mawudi was basically safe. Now, he no longer needed to worry about Mawudi. Next, it was time to start the second step of action. Thinking of this, Lin Kong took a step and jumped directly from the balcony of the luxury hotel. Unexpectedly, the impact when landing was too great. Crack! Lin Kong sprained his ankle. Chapter 374. What? Your name is Lin Kong? Instead of taking the stairs, he jumped off the balcony to show off. Now he sprained his ankle. Hey, you deserve it. Lin Kong rubbed his sprained ankle, and he seemed to hear the scolding from another dimension. Through the body table of old man Qin, Lin Kong has successfully promoted to the level 2 new human. Therefore, a mere sprained ankle is not a big deal at all. He circulated his spiritual energy and healed the injury on his foot. After finding that he could walk normally, Lin Kong began to run towards the Black Knight codenamed Mule, who was hiding in the dark. Under the strict command of Mule, the other team members basically ran away. However, Mule stayed behind. He didn't want to leave. He vaguely felt that team leader Mawudi might still be alive. Mule understood that if he stayed, he would probably be eaten, but it didn't matter. Even if he was eaten, there would still be a third person in the team to replace the position of team leader. This was planned long ago. This is to prevent the dilemma of being leaderless after the death of the team leader. Compared with the safety of the team, Mule is not too worried about his own safety. He was once saved by Mawudi, so he is extremely loyal to Mawudi and is closest to Mawudi. It is because of this close brotherhood that Mule can use his sixth sense to vaguely discover that Mawudi is still alive. Of course, Mule also understands that the hope of Mawudi's survival is very slim. In the distance, three-eyed corpse still did not approach without permission. It was still frantically moving various buildings, like throwing stones, and constantly throwing them at Mawudi's location. Under such a high-intensity bombardment, it seems that Brother Ma will not survive. Just as Mule was thinking this, a familiar voice suddenly came from the headset. Hey, have you all escaped? Hearing this familiar voice, Mule was so scared that he almost fell off the horse. After a moment of silence, the frightened expression on Mule's face suddenly turned into a look of surprise. Still alive, still alive, still alive, ha ha ha. My sixth sense was not wrong. Mule covered his mouth excitedly. Now Mule was hiding in a hidden room, observing the outside world through the gap in the curtains. He was still riding a black horse, just to make it easier to escape. The reason why he was excited but covered his mouth was because he was afraid that his voice would be too loud and attract the attention of the three-eyed corpse. After calming down, Mule whispered, Brother Ma, is that you? Soon, a stern reprimand came. Damn, Mule, didn't I tell you to run quickly? Why are you still here? The communication equipment carried by Mawudi had a limited communication distance. After discovering the voice of Mule, Mawudi quickly determined that Mule was still nearby. This made Mawudi a little angry, because when the second wave of bombardment of the building was launched, Mawudi had already given a clear order, telling all team members not to look back and run quickly. At that time, Mawudi felt that he was dead. When the first wave of buildings were bombarded, Mawudi was lucky enough to survive because of the help of Black Horse. So when the second wave of buildings fell, Mawudi was really desperate. When he was really desperate, the only thing he could do was to urge his teammates to run away quickly. Mule, who found that Mawudi was still alive, didn't care about Mawudi's scolding at all. His heart was full of surprise at this moment, and questions. By the way, Dalma, how did you survive? After a few seconds of silence, Mule asked the question in his heart. Mawudi did not hide it. He told the story of Chihikyu saving him. Mawudi didn't know that he knew Chihikyu, so he thought it was a kind new human who saved him. After listening to Mawudi's explanation, Mule also made a sound of surprise. A deformable black ball, forming a cover, a kind new human. When Mule said this, squeaked Tilda, the old door without lubrication was opened. A green-skinned weirdo with 3 horns on his head stood outside the door. Mule was startled. He raised his gun and put his finger on the trigger. He warned in a low voice, "Don't move." The green-skinned weirdo with 3 horns raised his hands, indicating that he had no intention of attacking. He said calmly, "If you shoot, it's the same as killing a kind-hearted new human." Listening to his calm voice, it is obvious that this green-skinned triangular weirdo is Lin Kong, who was possessed by the Triceratops. Lin Kong had already noticed the Black Knights fleeing in all directions. After discovering that one of the team members did not escape but secretly ran into the room, Lin Kong came up with a plan and came to the room where the mule was. Kind-hearted new human, Mule frowned, and he realized that the green-skinned triangular weirdo in front of him had just been eavesdropping outside the door. "Well, I am the kind-hearted new human you mentioned. It was me who sent a strange black ball to secretly rescue your little Maj team leader." Lin Kong directly revealed his identity, although he knew the title of team leader Mawudi from Mule and others. However, at this moment, Lin Kong did not realize that this team leader Mawudi was one of the 6 team leaders under the chairman. After all, Lin Kong's intelligence was limited. He didn't even know that he was secretly monitored by the pink-coated cannon man. How could he know that the chairman had sent team leader Mawudi to kill him? Therefore, it was very natural that Lin Kong did not doubt Mawudi's identity. However, it is worth noting that Mule and others were all sent by the chairman to kill Lin Kong. They naturally knew most of Lin Kong's information, and Mule had memorized the information such as Triceratops possession, Black Ball, Red Tyrannosaurus Rex and so on. However, the current Mule was too excited because of Mawudi's escape from death. He didn't even think about killing Lin Kong, but just felt that the green-skinned triangle weirdo in front of him looked a little familiar. If Mawudi saw Lin Kong like this, he would have reacted in an instant. However, the ability of the Mule was far inferior to that of Mawudi. The original text is available at LU number 9/. Therefore, the Mule wanted to say to Lin Kong, "I seem to have seen you somewhere." However, when he heard Lin Kong admit that he saved Mawudi, the Mule immediately forgot to say that he looked a little familiar. He hurriedly asked, "How do you prove yourself?" In fact, when asking this question, the Mule basically believed the words of the green-skinned triangle weirdo, because it was impossible for someone to come over and tell him that he saved Jalmaj. The reason why he asked Lin Kong to prove himself was just out of habit. Lin Kong spread his hands and said, "As for the proof, this is really simple. I have manipulated the black ball to transform into a hand and touched Mawudi's face. If you don't believe it, you can use the headset to ask your team leader, Brother Ma." When Lin Kong had the forest pterosaur stare at Mawudi before, he had already noticed the communication device in Mawudi's ear, and when Mawudi communicated with his teammates, he would speak into the headset at his mouth. This was obvious enough. So, Lin Kong came to the Mule. His goal was this short-distance communication device that could communicate. The 7 black balls could not speak, but with the communication device in the Mule's ear, Lin Kong could communicate with Mawudi in the ruins. Under the ruins, inside the cover that the 7 black balls had turned into, as Lin Kong's mind moved, the 7 black balls transformed into a hand and touched Mawudi's cheek. At this moment, the Mule finished speaking into the headset and asked Mawudi. Then, Mawudi confirmed what Lin Kong said. He was a little surprised. "Mule, how did you know that this mask would turn into a hand? And, you also knew that this strange hand would touch my cheek?" Mule put away the gun pointed at Lin Kong, and said to the headset excitedly, "Brother Ma, I met the new human who saved you. It was this person who controlled the strange black ball and made the black ball turn into a hand to touch you. Hearing this, Mawudi, who was in the ruins, was also quite surprised. He raised his eyebrows. No way, my luck is so good. I thought I was dead, but at the most critical moment, I was saved by a master. What, mule? Thank him quickly. Okay, brother Ma. Mule quickly jumped off the black war horse and shook Lin Kong's hand to thank him. Lin Kong made some excuses and then got to the point. The three-eyed corpse is not dead yet. We have to find a way to kill it first. Well, what the boss said makes sense. Mule has changed his address to boss for Lin Kong. Although the green-skinned triangle weirdo in front of him looks very strange, it was he who saved the life of team leader Mawudi. Therefore, Mule is very grateful to Lin Kong and naturally calls him boss. If it were in the past, Lin Kong would feel uncomfortable with the title of boss. In peacetime, Lin Kong, who came from the countryside, had a relatively low self-esteem. So when faced with praised or particularly awesome titles, he would feel uncomfortable. However, Lin Kong now has experienced the baptism of many wars. He is no longer the self-abased self in peacetime. Now, he is a man who dares to jump off the balcony casually. Now, he has become a ruthless man who can remain calm even if he sprains his ankle. Let's not talk about the previous incident of spraining his ankle while showing off. Let's continue to focus on Lin Kong's battle plan, because the effect of the green potion is very magical. Lin Kong's battle plan starts from this aspect. He just wanted to ask about the specific effect of the green potion, but unexpectedly, something happened that Lin Kong didn't expect. Just when Lin Kong was about to speak, Mule asked first, "By the way, boss, what's your name?" The reason why Mule asked this was to know Lin Kong's name so that he could call him Boss Zhang or Boss Lin or something like that. Lin Kong had nothing to hide. Anyway, few people in this world knew him. So, Lin Kong directly said his real name. "My name is Lin Kong, Lin for forest, Kong for air." Just after Lin Kong finished speaking, the earphone in the ear of Mule heard Mawudi's exclamation. "What? Your name is Lin Kong?" Chapter 375, Mawudi's Flaw. After Lin Kong was promoted to level 2, his hearing was greatly enhanced. In addition to the enhancement provided by the Triceratops, dinosaur possession, state, Lin Kong's ears could easily hear Mawudi's exclamation in the Mule headset. He asked, "What's the matter? Do you know me?" On the surface, Lin Kong just had a curious expression, but in fact, his heart was full of doubts. Lin Kong was no longer the ignorant young man who would easily believe others. He would not make the same mistake he made when he met Li Kegi in Orange Village. Once there was a doubt, Lin Kong would never let it go easily. What's more, this group of black knights of unknown origin were the ones he needed help. Lin Kong's mentality was even more cautious and suspicious. Obviously, from the sound that came out of the Mule headset just now, one thing can be judged with certainty that the Black Knight trapped in the ruins definitely knew the name Lin Kong. Moreover, the two words Lin Kong were very important to that person. Only when it was very important and unexpected, that person would accidentally exclaim. Lin Kong's spirit became focused. He pricked up his ears and listened carefully to the next words in the headset. He also focused on the changes in the facial expression of the Mule in front of him. In the ruins, Mawudi really didn't expect that the person who rescued him at the critical moment was actually the one he wanted to kill. Maybe it's the same name? At first, Mawudi had this idea. But, when Mawudi looked at the strange black ball that turned into a cover, he immediately remembered the information that the president got from the pink-clothed cannon man. The strange round ball with a black body and a very elastic material can not only spray blue cold air, but also deform at will. Deform? Previously, it changed from a ball to a pot lid-like cover, covering himself. Just now, a hand appeared to touch his cheek. This strange black ball, in terms of color and function, is very consistent with the black ball that Lin Kong has. Moreover, Lin Kong's name is also consistent. Therefore, multiple coincidences are superimposed together, and Mawudi can't help but exclaim, The reason why Mawudi didn't react before was because the information provided by the president before the departure was that the strange black ball was only the size of a basketball. But now the black ball has become a huge black ball with a diameter of 2 meters. When Mawudi found out that, he cried out in surprise. He immediately felt a pain in his heart. He was worried that Lin Kong had discovered something. If Lin Kong knew that he was the one who came to kill him, he would definitely not come to save me. Mawudi secretly blamed himself for suddenly losing his composure just now. Then, through the headset of the mule, Mawudi heard Lin Kong's curious questioning voice again. In fact, Lin Kong's question was intended to ask Mawudi, but the mule standing in front of Lin Kong was reminded of the question that he had not asked just now. "Well, I seem to have seen you before, and you look a little familiar." The mule looked puzzled and looked up and down at Lin Kong's body. At this time, the mule had not yet reacted. This Lin Kong was the target of their assassination. The reason why he looked familiar was that when he was reading the intelligence before, he carefully memorized Lin Kong's facial features and the appearance of Lin Kong after being possessed by the Triceratops. Mawudi heard the questioning words of mule, and the word familiar once again confirmed his guess. Although he was trapped in the ruins and could not see the strange appearance of Lin Kong with 3 horns at the moment, the word familiar was enough to prove that the guy who saved him was the target of his assassination. He was very anxious now, because Mule revealed too many flaws. Once Mule continued to talk, Mawudi was worried that he would accidentally talk about the assassination. That would be too bad. Usually Mule was very smart, but he didn't expect that after today's ups and downs, he was so confused that he even forgot who Lin Kong was. Mawudi had to secretly remind Mule so that he could remember the fact that Lin Kong was the target of assassination. But how to remind him? After a short thought, Mawudi immediately explained to the headset beside his mouth. "Nothing. I have a dead comrade. His name is also Lin Kong. By the way, Mule, do you still remember Lin Kong who died in Jinha's apartment to cover our retreat?" After saying this, Mawudi felt uneasy. He hoped that Mule would understand what he meant. Mule was stunned at first, because there has never been a dead comrade named Lin Kong. But then, when he heard the word Jinhao at the end, Mule became alert reflexively. Code. This is a code they use to communicate, when the team members are in a special time when they can't tell the truth, or a critical moment when they can't write the truth. They will mix the word Jinhao representing danger into their words. For example, now, Mawudi mixed the word Jinhao into the 4 words Jinhao apartment and said it. Mule was confused today because of Mawudi's multiple resurrections, and for a moment he didn't remember Lin Kong's identity. The original text is available at Liu number 9 at /bar. When Mawudi secretly reminded him with the word Jinhao, his mind immediately became agile. Thinking carefully, he soon remembered the task of getting rid of Lin Kong. Suddenly, Mule broke out in a cold sweat. He also felt very guilty in his heart that he had forgotten such an important thing. In front of the assassination target, he showed a puzzled expression as if he knew him. This is really a very, very stupid thing. Fortunately, the team leader Mawudi reacted quickly and came up with an excuse of dead comrades. Fortunately, the team leader reminded me, otherwise I would have revealed more flaws. The mule quickly recovered from his dazed look, and turned into an expression of sudden enlightenment, with a little sadness in his expression. "I was wondering why this name is so familiar." "Alas, you have the same name as that brother Lin." The mule deliberately pretended to be a little sad, so that it was in line with the performance of remembering the dead comrade. However, in Lin Kong's opinion, it was full of loopholes. If we have the same name, this reason is reasonable. But, the expression of the mule just now clearly showed that he had seen me before. Could it be that there is not only someone in this world who has the same name as me, but also looks similar to me? For someone like Lin Kong, who has 3 horns on his head and a green skin, it is estimated that it is difficult to find someone who looks similar in the world. Then, Lin Kong is very sure that the mule in front of him is lying. Not only did he determine that the mule was lying, but the person trapped in the ruins on the other end of the headset was also lying. In peacetime, lying is not a very serious matter. But now is the cruel end of the world. Suppose someone knows you but pretends not to know you. Is this person an enemy or a friend? The answer is obvious. Most likely, he is an enemy who wants to kill you secretly. A small probability is that he is a friendly force who wants to help you secretly. However, no one will help you for no reason. In peacetime, Lin Kong was born in a rural area. His family was average, and he didn't know many people. He had never even taken a high-speed rail or entered an airport. For a person with such a narrow social circle, there were simply not many noble people who knew him. Moreover, after the doomsday came, Lin Kong only stayed in Juzi village. Later, because of his mother Liu Hong's affairs, he went to the gathering place in the county town, and finally came to this gathering place in Ziyang City. In short, it is impossible for a good person to suddenly come and help himself secretly. The possibility of a small probability of friendly forces has been ruled out. Then, there is only one possibility left. This group of black knights of unknown origin are here to kill me! Although Lin Kong's heart was in turmoil, he pretended to be normal. Oh, so we have the same name. Yes, what a coincidence. Mule looked at Lin Kong's indifferent expression and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Ma Wudi, who was in the ruins, heard Lin Kong's indifferent tone and his tense nerves also relaxed. He was lucky that Lin Kong would not guess that he was here to kill him. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.